Yes, welcome back to DR Sports, another edition of the Saturday Football Show, and what a show we've got for you today. 7 or 8 kickoffs at 3 o'clock in the Premier League today. We're going to be very spoiled. Hopefully we get goals flowing, all right? And to make sure that we give you the right information across the next 2.5 hours, I've had to call in some very good guests. Got 2 Gunners in today. It's almost as if Arsenal are playing. We've got Tosin on my left. How are you, mate? Good to see you.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me back. I've missed you guys. It's great to be back.
Looking good.
Cheers, man.
Thanks for
You
coming.
too.
Appreciate it. We've also got Nick Francis in the hot seat today on my right as well. Big Gooner, as you can see.
Nice top.
Listen, boys, 3 o'clock kickoff today. Bournemouth away. Traditionally a fairly difficult place to go away. Just before we get into the lineups for all the teams today, how do we feel this one's going to go?
Was it last year that Saliba scored that banger there?
Yeah.
That was last
The
year.
left foot, top bin.
Is it?
Nice.
He scored an own goal, and then
I think so.
and then
Yeah.
he went up the other end and smashed it.
It's always the way.
Yeah, it's always the way. So yeah, I feel confident that if we want to be title contenders, we want to be pushing for major silverware, then we've got to be winning at these grounds. You know, we're talking about dispelling the fear that we've had at the Etihad, at Anfield. We've got to be going to Bournemouth and picking up points 100. Well, all 3 points, 100%.
Yeah, we are going to reveal our predictions that we've made just before the show. At the end of the show, we've written them all down. Toss in 3 points for the Gunners today.
Yeah, definitely. I for all the negativity that's been about Arsenal at the start of the season, I think these are games that have become our forte the past season. When we go away to these grounds, get the result. We're actually quite professional. It's rare that we don't win these games, so I can't see anything but 3 points.
Speaking of 3 points, make sure you smash that like button, comment with your thoughts and predictions of all the games today with 3 o'clock kickoffs. And if you haven't done that already, subscribe to DR Sports. 325,000 subscribers now. We're
Nice.
pushing on. And if you are with us, let us know where you're watching from as well. We always like to hear those kind of things. Let's just jump into the comments before we dive into the lineups today. MKH going Tottenham 1, Liverpool 3. We're also reacting to Villa absolutely cooking Brighton and Hove Albion. The final score at Villa Park, 6-1
Smashed
to the villains in their tightly worn Castore shirts, which we will be speaking about a little bit later as well. Not very breathable, we're hearing, and we can see that from Ollie Watkins there. It's very faded in parts where he's been sweating, but there's been a lot of controversy around that as well. Brighton put in a spliff, says N. Villa scored all the goals, 6-0 incoming. Of course, it was an Estepinian own goal as well. Hey, AGT, Tosin and Nick, says John Donuts. Big up to John on the old donuts. Havertz, Hattie incoming, says Zahid. He is starting today for Arsenal.
Spoilers. We ain't got that yet.
Well, or is he? Tune in to find out. AGT, please give us some of your crazy stats, says Earth Extremities. Villa get a freak result. Villa get a freak result against Liverpool and Spurs. Sure, 7 incoming. AGT, says Lucid. And please don't be cocky. Be respectful. Come on, you Gunners, says Nebex. And Basil says Soboslai brace today. Wouldn't we like to see that? Sir Razzie also reminding us that the last time Watkins scored a hat-trick in the Premier League was that 7-2 win against Liverpool. 7 goals and 3 assists for Ollie Watkins in 11 appearances in all competitions after today's hat-trick versus Brighton. Just before we do get into the lineups, what a result that is for Brighton. Brighton and Aston Villa. I don't think either team can believe that, especially if you ask them at the start of the game. But what does this result now mean for Villa? They've shut up a few people with that one.
It's strange because both teams are in similar spots, because when I've watched Villa this season, Villa look good, but at the same time are never far away from a hiding like the one they got against Newcastle at the start of the season. And it's the same thing with Brighton. So I expect to see more stuff like that. I expect to see Villa go and maybe like a run of now 2 or 3 games where they win and then to get smoked again and then do the same. I feel like them and Brighton keep doing that, and they're going to do that to the top 7 basically, or top 8. Top 7. There's too many good teams now, so I'm just going to call it that.
I agree. Both teams had a real positive kind of expectations for the season before the season even started. Both have held some decent wins. Both have held some licks as well when they've lost. We've beaten Aston Villa 3-0. They obviously lost heavily to Newcastle. Nick, is this the kind of result that maybe Villa fans and Brighton fans shouldn't get too carried away with?
Yeah, they're in direct rival spots. They're not, they're right next to each other in the table. They're not local rivals or anything like that, but they're both gunning for those top 6 positions, those European positions. It's a bit like when Klopp first came in. It's that rock and roll football. Do you mean? There's going to be goals. Which end? Who knows? And both teams are not in their final ascendancy. I will say, obviously, that Emery's probably further along in that project than De Zerbi is, and it's De Zerbi's loan signing that got the goal today. But yeah, Aston Villa very, very dominant. The first goal was in the 14th minute. The last goal was in the 97th minute. Completely dominant all the way through. So but if Brighton could just chalk this one down, try and mentally, I think the most difficult part is not footballing, moving past it, but mentally moving past it and put that out of your head and just keep going. And we know that Brighton will go and do this to other teams at some point.
Yeah, massive result. Ollie Watkins, the main man today, hat-trick for him. Some really good goals as well by Ramsey, Douglas Luiz right there at the end as well. Impressive. Unai Emery getting this treatment from the Villa fans as he left the pitch to go and do his interviews. Good, and it's massive for Aston Villa, isn't it, as they look to carry on their good form in the season. Super chat already from LJ Brown. AGT, beg your team humble these spuds. Just on that game later on, and of course we will look into it a little bit more. Are you guys looking forward to this as Arsenal fans? Tottenham versus Liverpool?
Yes, I am. I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing you humble Spurs.
Okay.
But at the same time, it's a win-win situation for me, basically, because it's a win. I'll just keep it as that. It's a win-win situation for me.
Arsenal fans hoping for a score draw then, a bit of entertainment. Nick, how do you see this one going?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, we're all, before at the beginning of the season, people were looking at Arsenal and City maybe as the main title contenders. Liverpool kind of waiting in the wings, thinking actually we're the sleeping giants here. People are a bit disrespecting us. Then you've got Spurs. They are the kind of the form team that people were maybe slightly overachieving early on in the season. So I think that would be at the moment people's picks for the top 4 would be us, City, Liverpool and Tottenham. So yeah, anyone dropping points out of that, hopefully Man City drop points today as well, but anyone dropping points out of that is going to obviously benefit us. So, a 0-0 draw would be great.
Yeah, Man City away today at Wolverhampton Wanderers, Arsenal away at Bournemouth, Liverpool away at Tottenham. It's a very interesting day in terms of the top 4 or 5 teams in the league. Tottenham versus Liverpool kicking off at 5:30 today, and we've got the watch along for you as well. It's going to be myself. I'm going to change it into a Liverpool shirt after this, become less neutral. Yep. Of course, I'm the consummate neutraliser on this channel, especially on this show.
How do you feel? Because they're coming off of they're coming off 2-2 draw at the Emirates, but they are really, really celebrating it like a win. Maybe it's because of the nature of the draw, but you're getting a very confident Tottenham at this point.
Let them be. The best kind of Tottenham team to play. The more confident they are, the better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because we don't deal with, are they confident they're playing well? Our record at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 3 wins, 1 draw.
Flex.
We haven't lost there.
Flex.
Last year 2-1. Year before that, I think it was 2-2. But the year before that, easy wins.
Flex on them.
So if they want to come to the table, I mean, Abby predicted this score to be 3-1 to Tottenham. So long may it continue that kind of hopefully false hope. And we just come and dump on them and give them that reality check. And I think Arsenal fans, the majority of them, I know I might not speak for all of them, but would also want to see that today.
Yeah, I would. I can't lie, I would.
Love to see it. Man thought De Zerbi was the special one, says the numbers Mason. Big defeat for them today. The Seagulls left at sea, says Black Money. Spurs 1, Liverpool 5, says Richard Hutchinson.
Wow.
We'll see about that one. Right, let's get into the team lineups. Just under 500 of you watching right now. We expect that to go up to around about 5,000 of you. So make sure you're doing the common courtesy, the house rules. As soon as you enter the stream, do make sure you like. And again, go and follow the guys that are on the show. Let's jump into Wolverhampton Wanderers versus Manchester City. A big game for both teams. Wolves looking a little bit better as of late, in 16th for Man City. Hopefully for them, 7 out of 7 this could be, and what a start that would be. How do they line up today at Molineux, Nick?
We've got Jose Sarr in goal. Back 4, it looks like. Dawson, Kilman, Gomez, Semedo. maybe a back five actually. Nuri in there as well. It's the way that the teams are laid out. It's a little bit complicated. In the midfield, we got Gomez De Silva and Lamina. And then we've got 2 up top in Cunha and Hwang, with Neto out wide as well. Apologies.
Really good start to the season from Neto. How will he fare today against, who's the Man City right back? Who is their team today?
The newly signed I'm Not Leaving, Kyle Walker, is starting, as you'd expect. Ederson in goal, Akanji and Diaz partnership at the back, with Nathan Ake left back. And then you've got Mateus Nunes, Mateo Kovacic, Phil Foden in the midfield. Alvarez, Doku and Haaland up top.
Not bad. Jack Grealish still staying out of that team due to Jeremy Doku's really lightning start for Man City as well. Let's go to the Vitality Stadium. How do the Gunners line up today against the Cherries, Tosin?
Okay, let me get that for you, mate. So, Bournemouth have got Neto in goal, Max Aarons at right back, Zabarnyi and Senesi at centre-back, Kirkez at left-back, Philip Billing and Cook central mid, Tavernier on the right, Christie in the middle, number 10, Kluivert's son, Patrick Kluivert's son, Justin, playing on the left, and Dominic Solanke, as expected, starting up top. He'll probably be gassed after scoring a goal, I think midweek in the Carabao Cup as well, he did. Do you want me to tell you Arsenal's?
Let's get into it, mate. The smile comes out all of a sudden.
Yeah. So starting in goal, David Raya. After Ramsdale's great performance midweek, Raya starts again.
Two top keepers. Great innovation from Arteta.
Yeah, it is. Zinchenko left back. Gabriel, who was a rock midweek, starts centre back. Saliba back in the team. Ben White right back. Erdegaard, Rice and Havertz midfield. Nketiah up top. Jesus on the left, and Saka comes back from the injury doubts to start.
Yeah, Jesus on the left with Eddie up through the middle. What's your reaction to that? And also another start for Havertz today.
Man, I like it. I don't like if Jesus and Nketiah are fit, just start Jesus and play someone like a Smith Rowe or a Vieira in the team. I don't think, I was saying it to Nick before the match, I think Arteta, he's a young coach, but I think by now he should start learning. Last season, people kind of gave him the excuse about, he only had a strong starting 11, he didn't have a squad. And even despite our injuries, bro, you got Trossard on the bench, fair enough, he's come back from injury. You got Vieira on the bench, you got Smith Rowe on the bench, you got Nelson on the bench. Bro, you don't need to start Eddie Nketiah this match. Give Jesus to starting striker role, and Nketiah should be a guy coming off the bench. He should not be starting games. He's not our main striker. Jesus should be. So I think Arteta's a bit naive, and maybe he's a bit too loyal to Nketiah. I like him, but Nketiah should not be starting games for us when Jesus on the pitch, respectfully.
If you had it your way, Nick, who would be starting today?
For me, probably Reece Nelson. You spoke about Arteta being.
Start, though,
that's the thing. You talk about Arteta being loyal to Nketiah. He needs to kind of spread the loyalty out because he's got Reece Nelson to sign a new contract. Reece Nelson obviously was on the edge of a move to Brighton. Probably a good thing he didn't go there today. But he absolutely deserves a start. I think he was arguably man of the match midweek. He's had big impact for what little minutes he's played. And I do think that, it's we know that we were lacking last season, maybe a 20, 25 goaler a season striker. That's what we need. That's what people want Gabriel Jesus to be. He's not going to be that if we play him out of position. He needs the minutes in his key position. That's one of the ways that I don't want to tell Arteta how to do his job, but one of the ways that you build a team is play your best players in their best position. You've got someone like a Kevin De Bruyne at Man City who's just immovable. Everyone else can be Kevin De Bruyne and Haaland are immovable, and everyone else can be flexible. The only thing I would say is that with the style of football that we play, Jesus will cut in a lot. They will invert, and they will switch and rotate a little bit. So he will get opportunities to score goals, and hopefully we see that. But I think Reece Nelson, Saka, Jesus would have made a lot more sense to me, but who knows? And maybe Fabio Vieira comes off the bench and does something as he always does. I'm a little bit worried about Havertz coming in and starting against Bournemouth, but there you go.
Interesting. Let us know how you react to that one in the comments. Oyo Savaloy says, great panel this week on my favourite football show.
There you go.
Nice.
We love to see
What
it.
a
Thank
guy.
you for the comment. That's very nice of you. We enjoy making the show for you. Make sure you show us the support the same way and like the stream and share it. Go and tell your nan, your dog, your neighbour.
Your nan.
Tell us who you've told about Saturday Football Show. Next up on the list, we've got Everton at home to Luton. A bit of a relegation 6-pointer, this one really, but Everton have definitely improved in the last couple of weeks. Away wins at Villa in the Cup, and then Brentford last week was so impressive, 3-1 win. Everton today looking to carry on and maybe make it 3 wins in a week, Tosin. How do they line up today?
So you got Pickford in goal, Young at right back, Tarkowski and Branthwaite in the middle, centre back, Mikolenko left back, is it Garner plays on the right,
Garner, yeah.
Andre Onana midfield, Idrissa Gueye central mid, Dwight McNeil on the left, Doucouré playing just off of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who starts up top.
Interesting.
Good
Dominic
team.
Calvert-Lewin back in amongst the goals. Fair play to him for kind of ignoring that criticism he had from the Everton fans, especially at Aston Villa away a few weeks ago, how things have changed for him. Luton though, Nick, how did they line up today as searching for a win? 1 point out of 5 so far, -8 goal difference. Who have they got today?
Yeah, no real changes really, as you'd expect from Luton. Kaminsky, Burke, Lockyer, Bell, Kabore, Ruddock, Nakamba, Doherty, Brown, Ogbene and Morris up top.
Interesting. Does that team get them any points today? Let us know in the chat. Manchester United are also playing today. Crystal Palace, they played them already in the Cup in the week, beat them 3-0. Now they play them at the same location, but in the league this time. 2 trips to Manchester in a week for those Crystal Palace fans. How do United line up today, boys?
Well, I can take that one because this is funny. Andre Onana starts in goal. Diego Dalot starts right back. Lindelof and Varane centre backs. Amrabat starts as a left back. I know he said I'll play anyway for United, even if they wanted me goalkeeper. But come on, he's playing left back. I think he played there midweek as well. Amrabat left back. Mount, that's I guess good return from injury back in the team. Mount and Casemiro central mid. Pellistri, the people's champion, that all United fans have been crying, play him. He starts today. Fernandes plays in this number 10 position. Rashford in off the left, and Højlund starts up top. It's a decent team.
Interesting. Amrabat at left back. Who would have thought it when he initially signed? Crystal Palace. Have they gone stronger than they did in the week?
It's strange Amrabat starting, given they've got supreme defensive giants of Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans on the bench. It's strange. Crystal Palace, they have Johnston in goal, Ward, Anderson Guehi, and Mitchell at the back. Doucouré, Hughes, Ayew, Schlopp, Eze, and Mateta starting.
Still no Michael Elise.
Because he's been on fire this season.
Next up, we go to St James's Park. Newcastle at home to Burnley. This should be a good game as well. Newcastle fresh from that 8-0 thumping last week of Sheffield United.
No mercy.
How do Newcastle United line up today, Tosin?
So Pope starts in goal. The back four consists of Trippier, Shaw, Lascelles and Dan Burn. Midfield is Longstaff, Bruno Guimaraes and Elliot Anderson. The front three are Miggy Almiron on the right, Alexander Isak starting as the striker, and Gordon, who's been in great form, starts off of the left.
And for Burnley, Nick?
We've got Trafford in goal, Roberts, Alderkill, Bayer, Taylor. Midfield of Cullen, Ramsey and Colosho. And then front three, Brownhill, Burge and Amdouni.
Interesting. Need a win, don't they, Burnley as well? In big trouble if it carries on this way. West Ham United against Sheffield United. It's got a bit of history steeped in this fixture. If you look back to the 06-07 season when Carlos Tevez was brought into West Ham illegally and then scored the goal to keep them up. Sheffield United went down. Neil Warnock was not a happy bunny at all that day. So a bit of banter between the fans we're expecting today. How do West Ham line up? And it's at home, this one.
So you got Areola starts in goal. Back four consists of Kufal, right back, Zuma and Aguerd, centre backs. Emerson Palmieri starts left back. Midfield is Edson Alvarez, who started the season really well. And Souček in midfield. Jared Bowen off the right. Ward-Prowse starts behind Antonio, and Paqueta plays from the left.
Interesting. Sheffield United, another team that can't buy a win at the minute in the Premier League, rock bottom of the table with Burnley and Luton. Nick, they have to get something from this game today, but are they with the team they've put out?
Yeah, you'd have to say probably not. Lacking confidence as well after that thumping. So their team lines up. Fotheringham in goal. Yeah, sorry, I got the right team. Yeah, not the subs. Fotheringham, you got Ahmedovic, Egan, Robinson, Bogle, midfield, Hamer, Acosta and Makate, and then up top you've got Archer, McBurney and Thomas out wide.
Interesting. Do Sheffield United have any hope for today? Let us know in the comments. Richard says Spurs and Abbey need to be humbled. Of course, we'll be looking at that game later on today on DR Sports. It'll be myself and Doy representing Liverpool. Then we've got Dean, and the host with the most, Laurie, is going to be in the studio as well. Who's more class, Saka or Salah, says Blaze McQueen. Silly question, really.
Define class. I mean, only one of them is at Burberry Fashion Week, weren't they?
It's
very classy.
When he should have been training.
Let's just not even address that. It's a stupid question.
No, it is. Another question for you guys. Well, more of a statement. Ahmed, big up those who work in the channel. Thank you, DR Sports. Taylor saying, big up the chat, but Brighton can hold that. I do think there's a slight, maybe unfair new hate wave going over Brighton at the minute. Whenever they lose, it's like 100%. The neutrals want to see it.
Brighton are one of the clubs that we want in the Premier League. They are challenging the top six or the big six narrative. They're taking major scalps. They're pushing into European contention, and they're doing it the right way as well. No disrespect to Newcastle, big club, lots of history, but they're not doing it just the money way. They're doing it with smart signings, loan signings, legends like Lewis Dunk that have been there for a long time. You know, it is weird to hate on this team. Different managers, you know, it's just an extremely well-run club, and I think actually, you know, some of that hate comes from a little bit of jealousy that some other people's clubs are not run quite as efficiently as Brighton as well. Obviously, when they beat you, it's very frustrating, but this is exactly what we want to be seeing. If our clubs were, you know, both of us have had, you know, relative success. You guys had a lot of success over the last decade, but both of our clubs are very successful, and we're both unhappy with certain aspects of how our clubs are run. If our clubs were run with the money and the pool and the brand that we have as efficiently as Brighton, then who knows where we could be.
Big facts. Well said.
Yeah, no, it's well said. I think I'd have to agree. Brighton are obviously one of the most well-run clubs in the world right now, you could say, to the point where De Zerbi, who's only been there for a year, is already being touted as a Real Madrid manager to maybe take over from Ancelotti next year, in the Chelsea mix manager with Xabi Alonso.
He shouldn't go there.
Well, any top club would be looking at him. I think it'd be silly to move away from Brighton too soon, just because of, you know, we need to see a bit more. But they're still up and around the top four area, whereas Bournemouth today, who play Arsenal, are looking for a win themselves. Only 3 points so far, 3 draws, 3 losses, yet to win, the Cherries. At the start of the show, when I said it's a difficult place to go to, Liverpool lost there last year. We've seen some big scalps there over the years. When I look at their team, they should be doing better than they actually are.
Yeah, I think so. The difficulty that you have is that they can take a point from teams like Arsenal. They'd be more than happy with that at home to grind out a point. The 3 teams that are below them are demonstrably worse than they are. And so actually, if they can grind out points against top half teams, then they will be confident, because like you said, they are better than where they are really, although they're down there with Wolves, who have some talent, Everton, who have some talent, and Chelsea, who really don't have any talent. So, you know, there are teams down there that Bournemouth can beat, and I think maybe they reserve more of their attacking flair or their attacking prowess for the teams that they know are a little bit more beatable, which makes it very difficult for an Arsenal or for a Liverpool to go there and get really good results. Yeah, we're watching the Bournemouth fans here at the Vitality talking about the game, looking forward to seeing Arsenal come to town. Arsenal, again, I know we've said how much Bournemouth need a win, but Arsenal, if they didn't win today, what would that mean?
you definitely get more fans getting more Gooners getting their knickers in the twist like they've been doing all this season. Honestly, I still think it's too early in the season to come to just these extreme conclusions. This is it. This is done. We're still only 6 games in. This is the 7th game. Yeah, I don't think you draw much from it. I just think it's like you just look at the fact that Arsenal were still not clicking. We're still the team still look like they're buffering. They're still like it almost is like we're watching a movie and we're still pixelating.
Like Central C, still loading.
Yeah, we're still loaded. So I really don't think there's much strong narratives you draw from this. It's just that we're still a team that's a work in progress. It's just more questions for Arteta in terms of just finding that formula and balance for his the best team. I still don't think the balance is all there yet, but. Yeah, that's all I'd say on it. I don't think we should jump to extremes about this result. We should win, though.
Yep. Arsenal wearing the infamous lime green away kit today. That's going to bring a few eyes a bit of soreness today, maybe. It's extremely bright. Shout out to Jim
It's
Yu.
lovely in real life. In real life, it's a nice kit.
Jim Yu says, AGT, your hair looks like a skunk slapped on the scalp. Cheers. Thank you very much, my friend. Great compliment, that one. Yes, Tosin. Facts, says Wayne Francis, a Buffalo soldier, a regular viewer, says, I believe Liverpool will get a high-scoring match win this season. 7-up incoming again, so some team better watch out. We are looking forward to the Liverpool game here at 5:30 as well. Reality check, please, Liverpool. Paul Fernandez. Does that mean you want Tottenham to win or Liverpool to win? Not too sure what it is. Is DR Sports covering the Canelo-Charlo fight? No, but if you do want to watch that tonight, this man right here is doing a stream on his channel. So we've linked his channel in the description. Go and follow that and watch that later.
Thank you for that, Alex.
No worries, my friend. Well taken by AGT. There might still be hope for him, says Roberto. What are you talking about? Hope for who?
Be more specific.
Yeah, come on. If you're going to insult me, at least get it right. 3-2, come on, you Spurs, says Evan. Gold Coast Black Star says, we can't drop points today here and against Man City. We must win today. And as the teams are coming out of the tunnel at the Vitality, we are 2 minutes away from the 3 o'clock kickoffs here on DR Sports' Saturday football show. It's the only place on YouTube, really, that you should be when it gets to around about this time on a Saturday. Am I right, gents?
Absolutely, 100%.
Fully agreed.
Absolutely.
Right? It's good to have you with us. Make sure you smash that like button. I get a bit jangly, a bit nervous, waiting for the first goal to go in. We've all made of our predictions post-game. I'm just going to have another little look.
No edits.
A lot of goals. No edits. I'll give you a quick look. I'll give.
How many goals have you predicted today? All
right, let's add up all
Let's
of our
not
goals.
say the predictions, but
7, 9, 16. Ooh, 24.
Wow. I've gone 18 goals.
I've gone 24 as well.
Jeez,
wow. I've gone 18.
Absolutely love it, mate.
Yeah. Should be drama. We're predicting major drama.
100%. We're looking forward to it. It's 2:59. You know what to do, people. Smash that comment box with your thoughts today. Richard Hutchinson, your hair looks great, AGT. So balance. Skunk looks great. You can't win them all, can you? Tobes' brother in his Spurs colours today, says Marcus. How do you feel about that?
I see it more as Real Madrid colours as opposed to Spurs.
Or
win a trophy, then you get colours. You got no colours.
Yeah, like Spurs don't even have a right to say anything is their colour. They've not won anything.
I can't lie, I'm a big fan of the plain white tee, and that is a very thick neck collar. I might have to ask you where you got that after.
Oh, mate, I can tell you.
Oh, after. Of course, we wouldn't want to do that to other brands that are available that sell the same product. But right, guys, it's 3 o'clock. You know what that means? Football all around the country. The whistles everywhere have just blown, and we are away. Give me my hit, Tosin says. Well, Arsenal need a big win today away at Bournemouth. Don't forget, we'll also be giving you the scores of the Championship, League One, League Two.
Yeah.
I'll even chuck in a bit of National League for you as well. So non-league, if I can get hold of the scores as well. I'm sure there's some games all around the continent as well, in Germany and the like. So that's what we do here on the Saturday Football. It's not just England. We do give you as many scores as we can. Let's not forget that Motherwell have lost at home today to Celtic in the Scottish Premier League. Celtic under Brendan Rodgers again, looking to win the league again. Pep Guardiola takes his seat in the I wouldn't say that's the dugout, it's more like the director's box maybe. Good to see him back. He has obviously been away due to, is it a back injury?
Something like that.
Something like that, but great to see him back. You know, I'm not a hater.
Yeah.
It's always good to see everyone in good health. The rain is teeming down at, is that Goodison? Yeah, it is. It's Goodison Park. The rain absolutely lashing it down there up in Liverpool. My hometown, not there today. Thank God with that weather. It's actually looking quite nice in London today where we film from.
You like playing football in the rain, don't you?
Oh, I love playing football in the rain, bro. It's the best.
I like
slide tackles, bit of zip on your passes, bit of backspin. Can't beat it, mate. Zimmy asks, are you watching the Ryder Cup? I was this morning. Absolute battering on the cards from Europe to the USA. It's almost a non-game, really. I don't think Europe have lost in 30 years when it's been held in Europe. And I know it's in Rome at the minute. So
that's one I'm going to
USA in the mud.
I'm going to need someone to explain how all of that stuff works for me. That's a sport that just
different show
goes in one ear, one
different show. Maybe we'll chat about it after as well. Hold that Brighton says Puskas baller. We are underway in all the Premier League games now. Looking
people
forward
really
to
hate
this
Brighton,
one.
isn't it?
I think it's, as I said, a new thing.
That's
jealousy, bitterness.
Wow.
Because now there's
even
stakes.
Flex has been saying, "Hold that, Brighton."
But if you
that makes sense why Flex is saying it.
And the Chelsea fans as well. But if you're at risk, for a long time there was no jeopardy of the big six. There's no real jeopardy, but now there's genuine risk. If you fall out of top six, contention. We haven't been in the Champions League for 7 seasons. We're back there now. But if you fall out of that, there are clubs waiting to take that spot.
It's actually true.
Whereas before, you could take 5 years away from the Champions League and come back, and no one had really.
Actually, you know what? Let me revise. I think maybe I understand it now because I'm not here. Like if when Newcastle lose, I say hold that Newcastle. I really do.
Just like your brother in that.
I really do. I really do. So that actually makes sense.
I was in Jamaica. My car broke down. I couldn't get anywhere, and I put it on my story. You know what your brother said?
What?
Hold that. I'm like, how are you telling me?
That's
to
the
hold
lowest of the
that,
low.
bro?
Come on, bro.
And then when I think he did something on his story where he held a couple of L's. I was like, respectfully hold that. You brought that out of me. That's what Toes does, man. Like, how can you say hold that?
Yeah,
I'm stranded.
It's a Spurs thing, man. They just know how to get under your skin.
They just love
in the worst scenarios ever.
Yeah, they just love to see people failing as they do regularly. Brighton admin talks a lot of nonsense, says Tobago. I do think the Brighton TikTok account is pushing the line sometimes in terms of their jokes.
What did they say?
Well, it's not something in particular. It's just they'll
post like the kind of memes you see on the football page, like see like when
like Twitter meme.
Yeah, see like when Jesus cut in and Dallo went sliding or Lindelof, whoever. Yeah. They'll post stuff like that when they win and they'll post like funny stuff.
Though,
like, this
I know what they're doing.
Oh, tell a lie. I remember what they violated Man United.
The
cam. Oh yeah, point of view. Andrew and then the Man United net or something. They violated that.
Big violation. Their TikTok admin is.
We won't go into it, but we see Napoli's issues at the moment.
We will go into it later. Actually, I think it's important to talk about. But talk about how you alienate a player. Chance here for Bournemouth. They've started really well here against Arsenal. Declan Rice back in the team, as we know. Clears the danger. 2 minutes in there at the Vitality. A goal for Peterhead in the second Scottish League. Peterhead 1, Elgin City 0. Gillingham have gone 1-0 up at home to Mansfield, the Stags in League 2. Macaulay Bonne with the goal 2 minutes in. Do we have a prediction from any of you on the panel with me about who is the first goal scorer in the Premier League today? Obviously, apart from the 6-1.
It's someone from that. It's Decore, Everton versus Luton.
Really?
You think that's the first goal scorer of all the 3 o'clock?
No, because 3 o'clock. Do you think that's going to be the first?
He's saying Luton's defence is awful.
All right. Luton
is it boring to say Haaland again?
Haaland doesn't score early, does he?
He does sometimes. I can't lie.
I can't see anything.
Tap-in merchant.
And plus, Everton, our team, they as bad as they've been they create a lot of chances at Goodison Park.
Can they put them away?
They're improving a lot more in their goals to XG. They're still behind overall for the season, but I can't see anything but the first goal coming from there.
Okay, I will go for Jesus to score the first goal.
I hope you're right.
On the 3 o'clock kickoff.
I hope you're right.
Just a hunch.
I could see Jared Bowen first.
Just a hunch.
Jared Bowen, I'll go for.
All right, let us know who you think. Saka says happy human. Toby is a menace, says Joshua. He is. There has been a goal early on in the Championship. Watford at home to Middlesbrough. But it looks like Middlesbrough, after a really, really poor start to the season under Michael Carrick, compared to how well they started the season last year, they've gone 1-0 up away at Watford. McGree with the goal after 5 minutes. Meanwhile, staying in the Championship, Preston 0, West Bromwich Albion 1. Darnell Furlong with the goal in the Championship. So we've seen 2 Championship goals so far, nothing in the Prem. I know it's only 5 minutes in, but we're quite spoiled on this channel. Our currency is goals, and we want them to just flow nicely throughout the show if that's possible. If they can do that for us, that would be great. O'Brien Dennis says, can't find Antonio after his take on Liverpool.
That was out of nowhere. Where did that even come from,
bro?
Completely out of nowhere. So uncalled for.
It's just wild.
What did he say?
He must have been doing that. He must have just been.
No.
On his podcast with Callum Wilson, he said in the build-up to the Liverpool game, "Yeah, we'll go to Anfield and win on Sunday, and we'll finish higher than them in the league this year."
But it's got to be for engagement, that.
Yeah, it must have been like.
But he said it with
mind
chess,
games
man.
or something.
He said it with
Well,
chess.
do you hear that? Do you hear Troy Deeney's take on Harry Kane?
Yeah, like
Wow.
That was at least Troy Deeney's not. He's not currently playing in the Premier League.
Plays for Forest Green.
I'm
Rovers.
not sure how I feel about. Cause me and Rance had this argument before, and Rance was like, he quite likes it. He's friends with a lot of these footballers, so he doesn't mind them having these outlandish opinions. But I don't know how I feel about them having these types of podcasts while they're still playing.
Right.
I don't know,
because Nicky Hawkins came on the COP TV after West Ham lost on Sunday at Anfield. I wasn't there, but he was speaking to Mario and he said he should have just shut up or don't do podcasts whilst you're a footballer. You got all the time in the world to do that after.
Yeah.
And don't run your mouth.
Do a podcast on something else.
Yeah.
Do a podcast on model trains or something.
I don't mind them doing podcasts. It's the content of what they talk about, because I want to know. I want to peer into the life of a footballer. I want to know like what goes on in. But you don't need to go into those specifics when you're talking about like come on, you can't be doing that.
Yeah, because obviously
when the match has not been played yet and you're not being humble.
You also you want to know, but at the same time, we all get annoyed when someone in the dressing room is unhappy and they start leaking information. So there's certain, like you said, there's certain things you do want to know, and there's certain things you want people to keep under wraps.
Yeah.
You know, and especially from West Ham to Liverpool, who have won the Premier League and the Champions League in the last few years.
Yeah.
It's not even like
it's
not even like an Arsenal United type of we're quite close to each other. It's a bit of a rivalry. Mad. It was very random.
The funny thing is, to give it a bit of context, after in the next episode, he wasn't there. It was just the presenter Ricky and Callum Wilson. Chance for Arsenal here, and it's cleared away. But Callum Wilson said, to be fair, if I said that before the game, dropped a stinker, got dragged off, missed all my shots on target, 10 touches, then I wouldn't be here either. I wouldn't have showed up either.
He's got to show up and take the stick.
He's got to.
He didn't show up?
He didn't show up to the next episode.
I thought you were saying. I thought you were alluding to like him being banned or something.
No, they say that he was with the West Ham squad travelling to Carlisle or something. Where did they play? Lincoln the other night. So yeah, he wasn't around.
It's also a case of like people saying comedy all the time. It's a case of like it's okay to punch up and not okay to punch down, because I think people would be quite upset if someone asked Haaland about Antonio. And he went, "What's Antonio? He's crap. How many goals you score?" You know what I mean? Like it would be.
I rate the confidence.
It's funny. It's funny because he's punching up.
Yeah.
But would it be as funny if someone was punching way down?
No, probably not.
Exactly.
It's like me saying, "Listen, I'm going to marry Rihanna next week."
Yeah.
It's not going to happen, mate. In any world, it's not going to happen.
Nor would you want it to.
Well, I don't know about that. AGT 3-1 in 4 games. How much would you have if you had a bet on that, Hart? It's got to be a record, says Buffalo Soldier. It's a good point. Because it's happened to us in the Cup as well the other night. I was at the Leicester game on Thursday. We went 1-0 down, won 3-1.
Yeah.
It's not the ideal start, if I'm honest. I'd rather score the first goal. But even when we did against West Ham, they scored. So it's almost like this, well, you can score, but we will outscore you mentality.
Out of curiosity, like, obviously you watch a lot more Liverpool than me, but I only see them in spurts. What have they been like defensively? Like, because I was looking into it, like in terms of the amount of chances they give away to the other team. Like, what have they been like on that front?
I mean, listen, if I'm honest, against West Ham, they could have had 2 goals before we scored our first goal. We're lucky that we've got Alisson in goal. The amount of times he saves us is... Well, it's just every season, bro. He's genuinely just keeps proving week by week, to me anyway, that he's clearly the best.
The best in the league.
Yeah, I mean, the most aerial duels won this season is Van Dijk. technically we've conceded the second least after Man City, 5 goals.
Yeah, which is good.
Which is decent. So the stats would tell you that everything's okay, but then when you break it down to individual chances, we still do give too many of them away. Now, Joe Gomez has come in, been really impressive at right back. Konate is just almost he's basically a 9 out of 10 every game. Yeah, he's so solid, so quick, so strong. And then you've got Andy Robertson, who's definitely stepped up again this season and scored the winner at Wolves the other week. So defensively, still strong because we're obviously winning a lot of games, but at the same time, better teams do put those chances away. So that's why I do think, without joking, that Tottenham today is the first big test in terms of, can you deal with Maddison? Can you deal with Son? Will they be clinical? In the past, they haven't been against Liverpool because they seem to think this fixture's a bit cursed between the two teams. We always seem to win. Yeah. So if you get through this, if you get through Brighton away next week.
Oh, wow. It's away.
After that is the derby at home. So it's a big month for Liverpool. And then, you go into November, Everton. And then you go into December, we've got Man United at home, Arsenal at home within a week. So a lot of tests to come. Early goal for the Bees, the mighty Bees, Barnet away at Kidderminster in the National League. Also Bristol are 1-0 up at home to Stoke Bristol City, that is. Sam Bell after 5 minutes there. Seems like there's been a chance at Old Trafford. We'll bring you more on that when we can. Lee Perry Jr. AGT's voice is so annoying. Why is he always hosting LFC, by the way? Don't have to watch, mate. No one's putting a gun to your head to watch it. If you don't like the sound of my voice, simply don't watch. But, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've got an early goal at Molineux.
Oof, that's the goal
and
we
it goes
didn't expect.
Against what I just said. It's Wolves 1, Manchester City 0, 12 minutes in, and it's an own goal. And Wolves will be absolutely buoyant. They're going to have to keep this lead for a very, very long time. But it's a Ruben Diaz own goal to put Wolves ahead, boys.
They just need to keep doing. They just need to keep doing whatever they would have set out to be doing before, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? They have to try to. Don't change anything. It's so tempting to go, 1 up, let's shut up shop. But just keep playing the game. It's like the typical, like you hear on a Sunday league pitch. It's still 0-0, lads. It's still 0-0. It's still 0-0 up here. You just got to keep it,
the amount of times I've used that line across the years, unbelievable.
Teams say that, but a lot of teams in the Premier League, they just resort immediately to that low block. They just stop playing.
Yeah.
Another goal for Middlesbrough, and it's McGree again, 2-0 up away at Watford in the first 12 minutes. But Man City are, in the mud a little bit in terms of the first 15-minute exchange. They are 1-0 down. I'm still backing them to go on and win the game, but it's always nice to see the other team score first against them, just to give something a little bit different. Woodsy says, AGT, listen, lad, everybody's going on about how we make mistakes at the back, yet second best defence in the league. Imagine when we get it right. UTFR. Big up AGT. Says Billy Kimber, what's your score prediction for Spurs Liverpool? I'll go 2-1 Liverpool. I will take that right now if you offered it to me. Liverpool win the league, says MKH 3-1. I'm not too sure about that. AGT is quality. Ty, not so much. Why are we sending shots for Ty? He's not even here. Have some respect. Chance for Bournemouth. It's Solanke. And it's a good tackle. A very good tackle. From, was that Gabriel?
Royce. It was the Rolls. Was that Gabriel?
Saliba.
Yes, the Rolls Royce.
Fantastic challenge.
We're also aware of potentially another goal in the Premier League. We're just waiting on confirmation. But I think it might be Newcastle. We will come back to St James's Park as soon as we get that information. If someone can help me with that would be great. But there is also a yellow card in the Manchester United game. That's a Casemiro shock going in the book for bringing down Jordan Ayew. And soon after that, Mark Gay very close with a glancing header. So again, a tough start for Manchester United at home. Also, we're hearing Højlund has had an attempt clear off the line by Tyrick Mitchell as well. Apparently it's absolutely chucking it down at Old Trafford today. Isn't it always in Manchester? But Ruben Diaz own goal, that's all we've got for you so far in the Premier League. Again, let us know where you're watching from. We always like to hear whereabouts in the world you tune into the Saturday Football Show every week. Almiron banger, I'm hearing in the chat. We're still getting confirmation of that Newcastle goal, are we? Yes, it is 1-0 to Newcastle, and it is Miguel Almiron in the 14th minute. The Chilean, or is it the Peruvian? Paraguay. He's from Paraguay.
He's not Peruvian.
He's from Paraguay.
Yeah.
How do you say that?
Paraguayan?
The Paraguayan. Love that. That's why you're on the show, man. The Paraguayan Miguel Almiron has scored 2-2 for him, for the Geordies. Talk to us about this goal, Nick.
Yeah, it's an outrageous strike. Smashes it for edge of the box, top left corner. Meanwhile, Jack Grealish on the bench. There you go.
Well, there you go. Miguel Almiron with an absolute banger that flies past Trafford in goal at St James's Park. Matty Renton will be enjoying that one, I'm sure. Stevenage have gone 1-0 up at home to Oxford United in League One. AGT do an impression of Robbie. No, I'm not trying to get sacked. AGT, watch it, you may get cancelled like Pep, says JT. For what? Billy Kimber is watching from New Zealand. Shout out to you, all across the world. We love to see it. Was the goal better than Soboslai's goal? Asked Buffalo Soldier.
Maybe not. Okay. No, I think the build up, the run and the build up of the Soboslai goal. I think
just the hit itself was just magnificent.
Hit across. Yeah, I prefer the hit across the ball rather than the
curl.
Yeah, because I think I find it easier for me as a left footer to curl the ball, and those Soboslai's one, I think I find that technique really difficult.
It's like he's hit right. It's just an absolute thunderous strike. I mean, I had a decent view of it. It went in before I could even assess what was actually happening. Yeah. But what did you make of Soboslai's father coming out and saying that he kind of made Dominic wear a size too small football boots growing up? So he's a tall boy, he's 6'2", 3", but he wears size 7 boots.
Why?
Apparently, it gives him a special trajectory
on some King Richard vibe.
The ball. Apparently, that's what we're hearing.
Wow.
Right, there's been another goal in the Premier League, and it's gone to.
Don't tell me.
Arsenal, Bukayo Saka.
Come on!
17 minutes in.
Come on!
I put the Gunners.
Said that it was going to be Saka.
Come on!
It wasn't quite the first
Didn't I say
goal,
Saka? About 5 minutes ago.
You said a few.
Come on!
You said, well, it doesn't matter. He wasn't the first goal scorer anyway.
But by what? 4 minutes, I was wrong.
And this is why he starts. You didn't want him to start. You didn't want him playing. He's going to get run into the ground. Listen, the boy's an elite athlete.
Yeah,
he's from West London. Yeah. We're built different on that side of the Thames. And it's too easy.
The guy.
1-0 to the Gunners away at the Vitality Stadium.
I saw a pretty cool stat about Saka the other day. If you look at GNA for players in the Premier League since August 2022, you got Haaland, number 1. I believe Harry Kane was number 2. Who was number 3?
Saka.
Bukayo Saka.
Over Salah.
I believe so. Let me get
Salah got like 20 goals and 10 assists.
Saka was 4th. Sorry.
Okay, yeah. Sounds about right.
It was Haaland, Kane, Salah, and Bukayo.
And it's a header from Saka.
Instinctive header as well from Bukayo.
He celebrates in front of the travelling gooners.
It was astonishing because he had more than Rashford.
Do you know who has? Yeah, but that's not astonishing. Rashford's average. Do you know who's
the way he was being spoken about last season?
But by United fans, you can't. He points at his head and they get excited. His value goes up 10 million. It's ridiculous. Do you know who's got some of the best, one of the highest GA per minute in our squad?
Jesus
Trossard.
Fabio Vieira. Outside of Saka, Martinelli and Jesus, Fabio Vieira. Probably Trossard. And Trossard's up.
To be fair, that makes sense because he comes on a lot and he gets these like assists for like.
Talk to us about this goal though, boys. It comes from Odegaard. It's headed against the bar from Jesus, and Saka there to head home.
This is why Jesus is out wide. But no, it's a great pass from Martin Odegaard. I think Jesus just trying to head it back across the goal and get it anywhere really in front of the goal. I don't even think he's trying to go for goal. He's just trying to keep it alive. I think that's unfortunate from the keeper. I think he maybe thinks it's going out. It comes off the post, so the keeper thinks it's going out, tries to cover his angles. It bounces off the post. He's committed too far, and then it goes back. It bounces off the post back across the 6-yard box, and Saka just reacts first.
It's all about Bukayo's positioning, though.
Yeah.
I may say something that sounds outrageous, but his evolution as a player, it mirrors that for me of Gareth Bale, of like starting out left back, then being moved to right wing, starting out as a traditional winger, go one-on-one, beating his man, but now he's starting to become more hungrier for goals. He's starting to do a lot of work on the inside. And he's becoming one of those players where when he cuts inside, you know what he's going to do, but you can't really stop him. And he's sniffing out goals in the box as well. Like the guy, he's reaching certain levels.
No, I'd agree with you, man. I think he's adding so much more to his game now. You look at the Robbins, the Bales, the Salahs, you know what they're going to do, but can you stop it? Another goal in the Watford game, by the way. Vakun Bayo has scored a goal for Watford, the home team. They're now 2-1 down. S. Lavo with the super chat. Cheers for that, mate. No text, just money. AGT said Jesus. I did, to be fair. I apologise. Didn't say Saka, it was Jesus that I said, but he did hit the bar. Come on, you Spurs, but love me some AGT. Sorry, says Billy Kimber. Nothing to be sorry about, mate. AG Fuller SIT says DJ Tivy. Big up to you, mate, my friend. Tap in Top Spur says Refo Ilimia.
Tap in Top Spur, what is that?
Positionally, but that's it. Saka doesn't have the Bale pace or tech, says Goatsall.
I disagree with that.
I think Saka's pretty quick.
And he's got a lot of technical ability.
I don't know, to be fair, I don't think he's as fast as Bale. I think Bale is probably quicker, but I don't think his pace is underrated. I don't think there's a lot. He's not much. Bale's not much faster than Saka. Saka's quick. It's just not how he plays his game. Martinelli is more explosive and shows his pace more.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? So
Martinelli does more of those Bale where he kicks it past the player and just zooms past them.
Exactly.
Yeah. Ozan Kabak says, "Ayo, big up AGT and Tapping Tobes." It's actually not Tapping Tobes. If you're just joining us now, this isn't Tapping Tobes.
It's his brother.
It's his brother. Better half. Toss it.
Thank you
Have
very
some
much.
respect. Come on, you Reds, he says. AGT, can we talk about just how good Curtis Jones has turned out? Do you know what? I was reading a piece in the paper this morning, and the stats that Curtis Jones has kind of delivered to this team since he's came into the squad as kind of a replacement for Bajcetic, really, since he got injured, have been unbelievable. 16 games played since he's joined the starting lineup more frequently. 13 of those won, 3 draws. Was really scoring a few goals at the end of the last season as well. I was at Leicester away, he scored 2 there. He's almost becoming a little bit undroppable. Now, is he a out-and-out number 6? No. But when you actually look at I know comps are comps, but when you look at all of his involvements in the game, 75% of them are just those necessary things that you need to do. Running someone down, putting them under pressure. You might win it and it goes out for a throw and then position swaps to your team. Closing someone down, forcing someone into a mistake. He's almost doing what Ginny did for us so well. Now, I know Ginny had Fabinho behind him at the time, but Curtis Jones is a kind of hungry tackler, which I guess with his technical ability we kind of forget about, but he really does close people down and get in your face. He's got bags of energy, and when he's had enough, you can bring on a Gravenberch, you can bring on an Endo. You know, the midfield is looking 10 times better, man. I like that. Last season.
Yeah. He was always
part of that.
He was always very technical, but I think he lacked a lot of physicality, right? It's that growth of going from a boy to a man. Same as we're just talking about Saka. He used to get shoved off the ball, now he shoves people off the ball equally. You know, and that's the same type of physical evolution for Curtis Jones. Sometimes those players, you just need a little bit of patience.
Shocking goal at Goodison Park.
Yes.
What is this?
And, you know, a lot of us, including both of you, especially you, said that Everton would score first. But it seems to have happened the other way. Tom Lockyer with the goal, the captain of Luton Town. Tosin, talk to me about that one. That is not what you expected.
That is not what I expected. Wow. That's all I'd say. I mean, there's still so much of the game left, but given the type of team Everton are, you wonder if they're going to come back and absolutely smash Luton, or if this is going to be Luton's first 3 points of the season. Shout out to Lockyer. Wasn't that the guy that came back from...
Yes.
Wow.
I was at the playoff final when he went down.
Wow.
He was down for a good 15 minutes, so shout out to him.
Credit
Gets
to
his
you.
first Premier League goal. as captain of Luton. I wonder what the atmosphere now is going to be like in Goodison. Will they turn against them or get behind them? There has been another goal in the Premier League.
Coming in
Jared
now.
Bowen, after 24 minutes, Kufal with another assist.
My prediction for the first goal scorer.
Really?
Yeah, that's a Jared
Well played, man. West Ham United 1, Sheffield United 0. We're seeing a few goals fly in now. We've actually got a goal in every single game, apart from the Old Trafford classic between United and Palace. That's 0-0 right now.
Classic.
We're also seeing Millwall have gone behind at home to Swansea. They're desperately in need of a win. The Swans, Jamal Lowe, after 23 minutes, has scored a penalty there.
Come on, Charlie Patino. Come on.
Still on loan. That's right, at Swansea. I miss Ginny, says Buffalo Soldier. I did too. He should never have gone. Prickford going down, says Buffalo Soldier. Inshallah. Oh, there's been
my goodness.
Finally a goal at Old Trafford, and Manchester United have gone behind once again in the Premier League. And Crystal Palace,
the Premier League does it again.
25 minutes. I've only gone and scored at Old Trafford. They couldn't buy a goal for love nor money when they were there on Tuesday night, or Monday night was it? But it's Anderson with the goal for Palace after 25 minutes. Let's not forget Casemiro booked early on in that one. He's going to have to tread a thin line now. But you can't imagine the vibes, the atmosphere, the experience at Old Trafford right now being a good one. For the last few weeks, they seem to have done this.
Man United, the team that drama just follows. Why can't everything just be straightforward? It's funny because Arsenal get the accusation, not to make this about us, about how we're very emotional. But Man United are such an emotional team. Why can't things just be professional, get the job done, and get on with it? They can't even fly under the radar. I got my eyes open for this.
We will be there at full time.
Well, because it's Anderson, I just assumed, and it's Crystal Palace, I assume that it's, across into the box, Anderson header. But everything I'm reading is what a finish, what an unbelievable finish from Anderson. So I've got to try and source this goal somehow and see it. But yeah, it's I'm over the moon. They've obviously taken their licks in midweek to assess and work out Erik ten Hag's game.
A long way to go though for Crystal Palace to hold on to this their slim lead they've got here at Old Trafford. There's been another goal in the Championship. Hull, or is that League One these days? Hull were down to Plymouth. Might even be Championship. I do think it is. We're going to try and get some eyes on this Anderson finish at Old Trafford. We are hearing it's a great finish from the centre back as well. Talk us through the goal, Nick.
It is a corner. My prediction. Well, not a corner. It's a cross. Coming in from Eze, just watching a replay, bounces from everyone. Wow, and he's just he's caught it on the half volley and just rocketed it. It's very athletic finish as well. But yeah, my instincts were right, actually, to be fair. It was coming in from a cross, and then Anderson's got at the end of it. But it's a great goal, sweet hit, and definitely like a career hit for Joachim Anderson, who's not famed for his goal scoring ability. But there you go.
One for the record books, for the grandchildren maybe. Anderson leads at Old Trafford with Crystal Palace. We're seeing a little bit of an injury, a bit of a stop in play here at the Vitality. The goalkeeper Neto is down, the captain for Bournemouth today. And Arteta has used that time to regroup all the team by the water bottles and the prime bottles, I should say, and have a little chat. We're just looking at the goal again. Was there a slight injury for the goalkeeper when he lands there, maybe?
No, I don't think that's the injury. I just think they're just re-showing the goal while the injury is going on. I don't think that's where the injuries happened. You're not an Arsenal fan. How do you feel about Arteta's antics? Because I think it gets overplayed. He does a lot of antics, 100%. But so do a lot of other managers. I think it's very over-egged because he's in the spotlight at the moment. What do you think? Because I think, and also it's crunch time for our club. Klopp was very, very similar on the ascendancy. When you guys were winning things, he was a little bit different.
Yeah.
But on the come up,
and people
Klopp was always,
Here's the thing, right? So I feel like, let's say the line that you shouldn't cross in the eyes of the official is here. there's managers that flirt with that line. Sometimes they'll go just over it, and then maybe if they know they've done something a bit cheeky, really retreat back into their technical area.
Yeah.
I think Arteta is a little bit too emotional sometimes, and that could actually come back and bite you. And I've seen that with my own eyes at Anfield, when he's tried to rile up Klopp, you end up losing 4-0 on the night. Or if he's tried to almost run on the pitch, I know he comes out of his technical area a lot. It just seems to me a bit forced. Listen, who am I to tell someone to not react to a last-minute winner? I don't want to hear about over-celebrating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
There is not a feeling in life that compares to your team scoring a last-minute winner in a game. So if that happens, go for it, go wild. But I think it's when you see little things like the ball's going out for a throw-in and he might hold on to it for a bit too long, and he's really touching that line of really flirting with gamesmanship, I would call it. So although I'm not against him celebrating goals, what I am against is the little things that he might do to just maybe cause a little bit of too much emotion, because that emotion definitely spills to the players. If they look across and your manager's doing all this and all that, they don't know how to react. Do we keep our cool? Do we back him? What do we raise our energy? What do we do? So sometimes it's a bit emotional for me, I will say that.
It's a good point you made, because let's be honest, there is something about us playing at the Emirates in front of our own fans. I don't know what it is, but it's like almost like our senses are heightened. And I think maybe that's probably coming from the manager, and he needs to just tone down a bit more, be more chill. Be like managers that when they see their team score, they just sit.
There's been another goal at Goodison Park. Not one of us predicted this. Throw your predictions out the window. We'll come back to you, Tosin.
This is what they call an accumulator ruiner.
Yes, this is a 3:30 and your acca's in the bin already. Everton 0, Luton Town 2. Carlton Morris has doubled the Hatters' lead away at Goodison Park. I did say, as soon as that Lockyer goal went in, I did say, what is the atmosphere going to be like? Will they turn on their own team? But Everton have gone from bad to worse. It's now 2-0 to Luton. Can you believe it? We're seeing Saka holding his right leg. The back of it, more specifically, is taking a bit of a knock there from Cliver, I believe. You might just be able to run that one off, but he's definitely limping and showing signs of a slight uncomfortableness there.
This is the problem with overplaying your players, is that their muscles are going to become very, very susceptible to every little knock. So it might look like he's being a diva, but his legs are going to have run a lot more kilometres than a lot of the other players on the pitch. And so his muscles are going to be pretty close to fatigue, and every little knock and every challenge is going to affect him a little bit more. He's still moving gingerly, as they say.
That's a good word.
We're seeing that across lots of different teams, though, because so many players are getting injured now. So many, like in men's and women's football. And I think it's just a matter of all the games that people are playing. There's just too much. And we got Euros to come this summer as well. Next summer? It's crazy. There's a lot of football.
I think if we can get a second before half time, in the second half, we should be looking at Reece Nelson and someone coming on and just relieving some of that pressure.
What I'm seeing is that we've been comfortable though.
The first 10-15 minutes were a bit of a tennis match. It was because they are not sitting in a low block like we predicted. They are coming out and trying to play. And a lot of our passing, we've been dominant, but our passing isn't quite clicking the way that we would want it to. But listen, it's been like that all season.
They've been playing through the press pretty well. And I guess a positive is seeing the Havertz and Jesus link up. Yeah. There seems to be a decent partnership there. Yeah. I think it speaks this, but this is what you get with Gabi Jesus. The guy, he's not going to give you 30 goals a season, but my goodness, he does get the best out of players around him. We saw it last season with the instant connection between him and Martinelli. And when him and Havertz have played together, there seems to be, he's able to get something from players around him.
I agree. We'll go back to Molineux, where Nathan Ake has just picked up a yellow card, a Stonewall yellow card for a foul on Kilman. Interesting game that for Man City. They're over half an hour in and still 1-0 down. Ral in the comments is Tap in Tobes, an Arsenal fan. I'm just going to say it one more time because I know it's a super chat. I had to read it out, but realistically, if you look at the title of this show, it says the Saturday Football Show live with AGT, Nic and Tosin. What you then also need to understand is Tapping Tobes is not Tosin. Tapping Tobes is Tosin's twin brother. So when you're saying AGT read my super chat out, and it's a question like that, You've just wasted your own money, fella. But big up to you for supporting the channel anyway. But please, I'm not reading one more of them out because I'm sure it's annoying for me, let alone him. Yeah. I've read 4 of them out already. I'm not doing it again.
Yeah, it's happened all of life.
About AGBTQ.
You've got to get some Tosin merch or something.
It's happened. It's happened both ways because I get a lot of people I work with and friends go up to my brother and say, it's like, my brother looks at them with a scowl. It's not me, I'm not Tosin.
Leave me alone. Hold that.
Yellow card for Havertz as well, by the way, there. For a late challenge.
Not the best start. He shakes his head at the vitality there.
Yeah, it's a Stonewall yellow. There's nothing to about it. Very late challenger.
How could I put my faith in Everton? Silly.
I don't know why you did that, bro. I could have told you that you should never do that.
How could I put my faith in Everton?
I live around a lot of people that do that on a weekly basis, and they end up doing what you're doing right now, looking stressed.
Shocking team.
But anyway, it's not your team, so don't worry about it. 2-0 Luton. If it stays that way, what a result for the
does it go, not even just stays that way, but is that floodgate? So they start clicking, where can this go now?
But where do Everton, I mean, again, the game is very early, but if Everton lose this after the week they've had, 2 steps forward, 3 steps back.
Yeah.
Everton stinks. Hope they go down, says Letitia. Big up to you. Tossing clear, says Teddy. Luton, my lord, says Joshua. If you do want to get a chat to be thrown in straight to the top of the pile, do send in a super chat. Ask the bill payer's permission. They don't really say that anymore, do they, these days? When you were texting in game shows or... Ask the bill payer's permission. Hopefully it's you who is the bill payer. Come on Luton, more goals, says Tahir. Come on Liverpool later, 4-2, says Asbo. Shout out to you. Tosin is the peaceful one, Tobes is the hater one, says Maori Kone.
Is that true?
Mate, see me when I wake up in the morning and you'll probably see something different.
Yeah, a bit different. Havertz down on the turf at the minute.
I think that's a yellow because that is not only... Is that very late challenge and a bit of a dirty challenge? I don't know how that's not yellow, but that's the same person that Havertz fouled. So it did look a little bit spiteful.
Philip Billing, let's see. That's a yellow.
That looks spiteful for me.
That's a yellow.
This ref's not giving him anything.
I'm sure he's given him a yellow.
I don't think he has. I'm going to double check because I'm going to complain about it. But that's really cynical.
But that happens to us a lot, though.
No card. No
card. David Brett Smith says, what team do you think can be the surprise team this season? I guess there's, categories of surprise. You could say Luton could surprise people if they stay up. You could say Aston Villa could surprise you if they get top 6.
Yeah, Chelsea getting
shocking. Top half.
Yeah.
That would be a shock this season.
That's true.
So there's a few different roads you can go down with that question. Air Pierre says, yo, Tosin, being a twin myself, I'm just curious how you and your bro decided to support rival teams. Shout out to AGT, up the Reds.
I must have told
He's a twin, so you've got to...
Yeah, I must have told this story a million times.
I've heard it before, but,
Yeah, basically because we both lived in North London, I wanted to pick a team that was actually really good and... scored goals and won. So I picked Arsenal naturally.
Yeah, fair enough.
Kanu played for the Nigerian national team, so I followed Arsenal because of him. Then I saw Bergkamp, I saw all of these other players that were good. And my brother's like, well, in the area we live in, it was 70% Spurs, 30% Arsenal. So he just went with Tottenham, took a liking to them, and then continued supporting them.
And has been depressed ever since.
Yeah.
Super chat here. Actually, I've just read that one out. But I'm hearing there's another goal in the game at West Ham, and it's 2-0 to the Irons. Souček, after 37 minutes, adds to Bowen's opener. And at the London Stadium, they are blowing bubbles right now because everything is looking good if you're a West Ham fan.
Conceding 10 in a week is suboptimal.
It's strange because... I followed the Championship loosely last season. Like they were really they did quite well, and from what I've heard is that their team has actually gotten a lot weaker in the Premier League than it was in the Championship because they had a lot of Premier League loanees. So I don't know what Sheffield United's strategy was, but Heckingbottom, don't know whether it's the manager or whether it's just poor quality team. I just don't know.
But when you talk to people that play professional football, a lot of them do say the Premier League versus the Championship, it's not just it's one league lower. It's almost a different sport. The level of diet, the level of athleticism, the level, a lot of the players in the Premier League, not all of them, but a lot of them, especially at the top half of the table, would have been having, diet and all this kind of stuff from single figure ages. They would have been in top academies, and top coaches. Even the mental side of the game, when you're struggling and they have the natural, because they've been there for so long, they know it will come back. It takes a real elite mentality to, one day we'll have a conversation about a Jamie Vardy or someone like that has that mentality to just keep going in the Premier League for a very long time. But yeah, it's a totally different sport. So it must be so difficult to go from, think of the confidence of playing football with one group of your mates, and you're clearly the best, and then you go play with a different group of your mates and you're clearly the worst. It's just suddenly it's like everyone's a superhuman.
I agree.
But that's when you get better. If you're playing a team where you're the best, you're not going to get any better.
But that's why they go straight to the Championship and smash it again, because now they're even better. They're better than they were last time they were in the Championship, but still not good enough for the Premier League either. So
strange, isn't it? Rangers 0, Aberdeen 1 at Ibrox. Stefan Gartenmann scoring for Aberdeen to silence Ibrox.
How's he doing, Michael Beale?
Not good, bro. Not good.
Because he was decent at QPR, and he made all of that fuss about how he's loyal to QPR. Yeah. Then he went to Rangers.
I don't think they're happy with him at the minute, to be fair. There has been another goal though at Goodison Park. But at this time it has gone to the home team. Everton have now scored at home to Luton Town. It's now Everton 1, Luton Town 2. 40 minutes into that game. Apparently it's... Hang on, I'm seeing 2-2 at Everton. What? I'm seeing 2-2. Amari Bell own goal.
You what? That?
Surely it can't be 2-2. It was 2-0 1 minute ago, if that. We're getting confirmation on that right now for you.
Can't be.
Unless my football app has got it wrong.
I'm seeing 2-1, Calvert-Lewin. What?
I'm seeing 2-2. Other football apps are available, of course. But we're still waiting for confirmation on the scoreline from Goodison Park. Now it's gone back to 2-0 to Luton, and I'm hearing it's not been given, that goal, for Calvert-Lewin.
Yeah.
So it could still be 2-0 to Luton. And speaking of them, there was a comment here that said, AGT, do you want Everton to get relegated? Yes, is the answer. Yes, thank you. AGT, do you think Trent starts today, says Rohit. I've been sent a lineup, and Trent's not in it. I'm not saying that lineup is gospel, but what I am saying is the guy who sent it into the group that I'm reading it in has said that Gomez starts at right back today. So
what's going on there?
So no.
What's like
Trent's been injured.
Oh, okay,
3 weeks
cool.
hamstring.
Yeah,
so Gomez just checking.
And he's a midfielder now, right?
Well, who's to say that one day we can't just do a little Gomez at right back and then Trent and...
Yeah, like a young Kimmich type of vibe.
Yeah, exactly that. Philip Lahm.
Yeah, you know? I can see that.
So that's the answer to your question, Rohit. Right, Everton in the mud, we're hearing. VAR stepping in. So is it still 2-0 then? It must be at Goodison Park. But then I'm hearing that Calvert-Lewin's goal has stood on this app. So we're not too sure what's going on right now. But stay with us. We are checking. They are checking. We're all waiting to see what's happening here.
The goal itself, a little bit scrappy. So I think there's a few things to potentially check. There's a few fouls. There's a few, it's a scrappy goal.
Apparently the Corey should put it in.
I have to look. I think the one I'm looking at is what would have been the own goal, but we've just got to see. I think that one might have been chalked off.
I think it stands, guys. I think Calvert-Lewin's goal stands.
The own goal was chalked off, and then Calvert-Lewin's goal
straight away after that
is counted. 2-1.
There you go. Everton have scored, and it is DCL again. 3 goals in a week for him now. What a return to football for him after he was out for so long, and
it's all about staying fit
for so long.
It's all about staying fit for him, isn't it?
I wonder though,
That's true.
It must be something he's doing in his personal life. I think these things play a factor in players' fitness. He's just not taking. He must not be taking care of himself in some way.
I think
there's been another goal which you guys might like the sound of, and it's Martin Odegaard making it 2-0 to Arsenal.
Let's go!
Penalty spot.
Come on!
44 minutes in.
Come on!
The Vitality.
Now we're talking.
Loving life, right?
Yes!
It's a penalty as well that's come from Max Aarons, of all people, the player that we were linked to every summer for about 4 years. Didn't get him, and he hasn't really been particularly impressive since
Mo.
Since
that's
he's
what
gone
you
there.
do, Martin, to shut the haters up. You just score and you keep it moving.
Is it? Well,
Torch him with success.
We've got the thing is. I mean,
Oh wow.
The thing is,
Did we just see what happened there? So Saka had the ball on the spot,
Yep.
walks away and gives the ball to Odegaard.
Same thing happened against Palace.
Yeah, that's happened before. I think against Palace specifically, the keeper went and checked his notes and looked at Saka and was like, he kind of knew where Saka was going to go, so they said,
tactical.
"Okay, we'll switch it at the last minute." So we've
tactical.
done it before.
But Saka did score a pen in the last game.
He did score.
He
a pen
did,
last game.
and he took the pen against Fulham as well. When we
Let's have a look at the goal. Odegaard steps up.
Oh, my captain, he doesn't miss it. Sends the keeper the wrong way completely.
Passes it bottom right.
But to be
Great
fair,
time to score 2-0
some of the
before
criticism,
halftime.
some of the criticism of Odegaard. You said you wanted to have a conversation about Ben White. Some of the criticism of Odegaard, I do think is fair because there have been moments in the game or some games where he hasn't been contributing so much, but he is a bit of a GA machine. He hasn't been contributing to the overall game, but he's managed to get himself a goal or he's managed to get himself an assist, and so that's covered it up. He's a fantastic player, but there are moments where, you know, it's because we hold him to such a high standard. He's an unbelievable player overall, but if there is a 10-minute lull, you know, especially because he's the captain, and I do think it's a matter of time before Declan Rice takes that captain's armband, but especially because he's captain, when we dip, we're looking at this guy to really get everyone going again, and I think that there's a lack. I think he's going to be so much better when he can just focus on doing what he does and not the leadership aspect.
But I don't think it's the leadership aspect. I think he's generally playing a different role for us this season.
Yeah,
I think he is, and I take some of that he needs to get on the ball more, because last season he was doing it.
Yeah.
He, like, when he didn't score, he was still making his presence felt in matches. But this season, and I think I don't want to blame Havertz, but he's essentially doing what Havertz is supposed to do. Because Havertz, we've brought him in. People are saying, "Oh yeah, he's the 8." He's not the 8 because he's coming there and he's meant to play like that traditional 10 role, stay in between the lines, come late into the box, finish off stuff. But Odegaard is doing that this season. He's scoring the goals. So I think we're still just trying to find that midfield rhythm in the team. So I think it's harsh, Martin. Like, he's obviously playing a different role, because when he's doing his normal game last season, he was ranking first for several offensive stats outside of goals and assists, passes, all of these sorts of things. So
you're right. A lot of it is that he had such a shield behind him of Partey and Xhaka.
Yes.
And you'd have to say that Rice and Havertz is not the same midfield as Partey and Xhaka. Mostly because of not because of Rice, but because of Havertz versus Xhaka. And Xhaka had his best goal scoring season last season.
Like, I think if we're playing, you'll see a different Martin Odegaard. I promise you. If we played a midfield of Partey, Rice, and Odegaard, as opposed to Rice, Odegaard, and Havertz.
Yeah.
Just an update for you then. So far, it's Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. We are 47 minutes into the first half there, after Philip Billing has just had an opportunity, I believe. Let's just look at this quickly. Up against Gabriel, goes for the shot across goal, and Gabriel blocks really well. Everton 1, Luton Town 0 again. 2 minutes of added time there. Manchester United just flicked over to Twitter and seen Saeed saying Mount is running around doing nothing. So long may that continue. 1-0 to Palace at half-time.
That's what they signed him for. That's what he did at Chelsea.
Exactly. Newcastle obviously 1-0 up still from that wonder goal from Miguel Almiron. And West Ham 2, Sheffield United 2 is the current score again as we close into half-time. And Man City holding on here away at Wolves at the minute.
Great counter-attack from Wolves there.
Great half this from Wolves. And that's your update in terms of scores. No half-time whistles for you yet. Just on Ollie Watkins, it's 3 goals and 1 assist today. It's a match rating of 10 out of 10 for him. I'm asking you this question. Is Ollie Watkins maybe the best striker outside the traditional big 6?
Yes. Absolutely.
Let me just have
Ivan
a look.
Toney's probably up there.
I was going to say you've got Ivan Toney to have a conversation about. Isak.
Well, he's in the top 6.
He's in the top 6.
You said the traditional.
Outside the traditional top 6, I said.
Yeah, but
So I think
Newcastle's not in the traditional top 6.
I mean, but
They are now, though, aren't they?
So that's not traditional.
I-
You saying now or
don't
traditional?
try-
No,
don't-
I'm not asking. Okay, give us the
what I mean?
traditional.
you make a valid point, but I got what he was saying.
Yeah.
I think he meant just the top 6 now, like
Oh, the big.
the,
Okay.
the established
Yeah.
hierarchy now, like now,
So we just swap in Newcastle for Chelsea.
essentially.
Yes.
Okay, got you.
And they don't really have strikers.
They don't have
so
a
they
good
can't be in it
striker.
anyway.
I think-
it is half-time now at Molineux. The half-time whistles are flying in around the grounds. It is now half-time as well at Old Trafford. as well. Also West Ham and Newcastle, we've heard the whistles. We're still going though at Bournemouth and Everton, waiting for half times there. But if it's not him, who is it? You can chuck in Ivan Toney. You could chuck in, after his recent form, maybe a DCL, but hasn't shown it enough over the years. But I rate
Ollie Watkins a lot.
He scores goals, mate.
He does.
Before we got Jesus, he was one of the names that I would have really liked to see.
Last season, I put easily Tony was ahead of him. I was one of Watkins' biggest critics because I'm like, this guy, his approach play is good, his physicality is good, but I'm like, I just don't trust him in the box. And obviously there was a lot documented about him working with like a new striking coach ahead of last season. But what I respect players who are not too old to learn new things. And what I've seen the past season and going into this season is a player transformed. His movement, his incisiveness with his finishes, his precision when he strikes the ball now. I'm like, this guy's a really, like, he's actually a good player. He's becoming a complete forward. And I think for me, against Tony, he's offering slightly a bit more pacier. I think, I agree with that shout. I think he edges it with Ivan Toney for me right now as the best outside of the top six.
He's also playing in a much better team though, right? So before they had Coutinho, they had Coutinho who started off really well but didn't really hit the heights. They had Buendia who started off really well, didn't really hit the heights. Now he's playing alongside Diaby, who's fantastic. He's got a solid, I think...
Zaniolo plays.
I think also the defensive structure behind them. Boubacar Kamara is somebody that I wanted to see at Arsenal. He went there. So him and Douglas Luiz, really, really solid protecting that back four. Pau Torres is in that back four as well now. So he's in a much better structure. And so that's what, you're going to get much more output from him.
That's true. The team is but even with all of those good players, if Watkins isn't on it, Villa are massively affected.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the whole, and he raises the game of the team, basically.
Jacob Ramsey stepping up as well. For sure. But he's class, 100%.
He's definitely up there. The gall of some football pundits to think that Maddison can be compared to Odegaard, says Garbo Staunton.
He can be, though. Maddison's a very good player.
We're also hearing a little report coming out of Old Trafford that Amrabat, just before the halftime whistle, made his third foul of the day against Ayew, who is apparently playing him like a violin. Frustration growing within the ranks at Old Trafford.
Like a
as
violin.
Manchester United are behind at half-time.
To be fair, he's not a left-back.
Yeah, he's not.
He's not a left-back, and Ayew is very, very tricky. But he's not a left-back. So, these things are going to happen.
It's like when we were playing Thomas Partey at right back. It was only a matter it's only a matter of time when he comes up against a good winger that actually twists him inside out.
The thing is with Thomas Partey at right back as well, we invert. So Thomas Partey at right back only has to actually play right back for maybe 20% of the game.
Yeah,
really, he's going to sit centre mid. He's just going to cover that position when we're out of possession.
As soon as we get that ball,
do you know what I mean? Whereas these guys, Man United, are not going to hold the ball against Palace as much as we're traditionally going to hold the ball.
People saying it's Tony or Wilson, but again, you'd have Wilson.
I would take Watkins over Wilson.
I take Watkins over Wilson. Watkins offers me the same goals as Wilson and more outside of his goals.
Yeah, I would take Watkins over Wilson as well, personally.
Boo Ryder says Leeds guy. What's his name? One season wonder. You're not really helping us there, my friend.
What, Bamford?
I was thinking Bamford, but then I was thinking Rodrigo. It can't be him either. Who do you mean?
Monto?
One season wonder.
Winger.
He's still there, so I don't know.
One season wonder.
It's unless it's a free kick, pen, or a corner, it's open play. I don't know what you're talking about there. Big up to you though. Another person saying Evan Ferguson, the best striker outside the top six as well. Not yet. We need to see more than that.
To be fair, they may well be the new traditional top six pretty soon.
It could well be.
He's really good, but Watkins is clearly a better player than him.
Yeah.
Ryan Govier says Watkins the best striker behind Haaland because of a hat trick. Okay.
No one said the best striker behind Haaland.
Listen to his question.
The best striker outside of the top six.
Come on, listen to us. Wolves winning this game would mean so much. Let's go Wolves. AGT, do you think Wolves have a chance, says Sam Kello? Yes. Listen, they were 1-0 up against Liverpool the other week. Obviously, it didn't end well for Wolves in the end, but if they can hold on against City, it gives Liverpool massive confidence going into this Tottenham game. To go top. To go top.
if
you asked surprise of the season, I think Wolves might be mine. You know, for some reason I really rate Gary O'Neill as a manager. I get why they brought in what's his name, Iraola, better manager, I guess. But Gary O'Neill, what he did at Bournemouth last season, the way he bought as well, like I think the guy's a really underrated manager, and I think him and Wolves is going to be a match made in heaven. And I've seen their performances this season; like they've not been awful. They've been actually decent, and games where I've expected them to get completely cream crackered. So.
He says, my bad, didn't hear you say outside the top 6, says Ryan. So at least he's come back.
Takes a humble man to apologise.
It does. Big up. AGT Arteta doesn't want Tony. He hates players with character. He got rid of them all. He just wants yes men, says JT. Not too sure about that.
I also don't care. If we can win a major trophy with no crazy characters and no boozy guys, and that's fine. I don't
boozy guys.
Who cares? Like I was going to throw Jack Grealish dig in, but I do it way too much. So I tried to leave.
Fair. Montana says Rashford and Bruno come back, but United look shite. Surprise, surprise. Yet Sancho is the problem. He says.
To be fair, Bruno and Rashford have both got you out of difficult times and difficult games, and Sancho doesn't have that type of history. He doesn't have that credibility in the bank, so I think that's maybe more where it's coming from.
Should we all have a look at our predictions, see how we're getting on at half time?
Come on, let's go.
Okay.
Not too bad.
2 of mine are
not too great
done
either.
And dusted.
I think mine are all.
One's definitely done and dusted.
2 of mine are on track. Well, 3 of mine are on track, actually.
Yeah.
But
I might have a couple results right, but maybe not the actual scoreline.
2 are dusted, bro.
I only have 2 that are even remotely close.
I do. Yeah. Not great. Back into the comments.
I basically know nothing about football.
What's this? AGT's son just scored a second goal. Who are you talking about? What do you mean? Let me know. I'm not having a go. I'm just saying, like, you know, just out of interest. Like, AGT, the first guy to ever say my last name properly. Big up, Ryan Govia. Yeah, man. Come on. I say that, but no one ever gets my name right, to be honest. My surname, the pronunciation at least. Tosin, Wolves being cream crackered, what does that mean? Give Man United a great game, says Michael Parks.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. As in, like, in games where you've actually expected them to get dominated, they've come out and you're saying they should have beaten them.
Yeah.
So I actually rate Wolves. I think Wolves, where they are on the table and the results they've gotten are not a reflection of their performances this season.
No, I'd agree. I think, the United game, the Liverpool game, they definitely deserve something. It's just the finishing. Can they start turning them chances into goals?
That's the only negative. That you spent, 45 M's on Mateus Cunha. The guy can't, he's not even a 4 out of 10 conversion rate striker.
What's the other guy's name? 6'7" guy that they bought last year but was injured. Literally got ACL first game, pre-season. Something Kalinic or what's 6'7"
Kaladzic?
Yeah, something like that. We haven't seen the best out of him. He's still at Wolves.
Oh.
He's still playing. He scored for them the other week, but he had a horrendous start to his Wolves career with that injury.
There's been a change of manager in that.
Hwang is decent.
So.
He chips him with the odd goal here and there.
Mixed Mitchell says, AGT, will you be doing an El Clasico watch-along at the end of October with the usual suspects? I hope. Honestly, that show there, the Clasico on DR Sports, is one of my favourite shows I've ever presented. When you've got Nico here and Raul here just going head-to-head. Honestly, it's unbelievable. But listen, Arsenal, great half for them. 2-0 up away. It is unbelievable. 2-0 up away at Bournemouth. AFTV will be a good watch tonight. Speaking of AFTV, let's watch a couple of them playing football, shall we? As a little half-time treat. Have we got that clip ready?
It's all in the eyes.
And it's easy to lose.
Have we got that clip? There we go.
Go on, Phoebe. Oh!
Oh! Just went outside, man. I can't even commentate right now, blood. What? I watch Gaffer in the middle holding it off. Go, Gaffer. Put your foot in there, Gaffer. Go again, Gaffer. What's Ty? What's Ty? What's Ty? Watch him. Gaffer took man out. Wait, the gaffer just broke him. Hey, he done a Xhaka tackle there, blood.
Oh, it's Curtis.
Oh, that's lovely. It's Curtis.
Curtis is in.
He's
Here
in.
goes Curtis. He's in.
Oh no, it's big tackle. Big tackle. What good tackle. I didn't see no one around him, but it was a great tackle.
Tackled by the invisible man.
One goal, calm, hat off.
Come on! Yes!
Not everyone can be like me, man. One touch, one goal.
Don't cross the line, don't cross the line. Let's go, don't cross the ball. That's it, good. That's it, thank you. That's it, come to the last one, come.
To troops.
Give it back, down the line.
Go on, Troops, getting stuck in, son.
Hey, Troops, go down.
Troops with his game face. I mean, I think it's his game face. Or something face. Kick off. Robbie is here with his kids to teach them those chairman duties. AFTV down the wing.
Lovely.
Whip it in. Troops is there. Troops, go! 6-2. Of course it's Troops. Here we go. Goal!
Hey, Troops got tankers, you know. I ain't gonna lie. Alright, you know. Yeah, no, you got a little flicks, blood.
Oh, look at this.
Ty's getting ready.
This is what we've been waiting
I've never
to
seen
see.
Ty without a hat.
Never have
And
I.
he's coming
I
on.
want sweat on that scouse head. I want to
And
see it.
here we go, the number 8. Ty is on. He gives a thumbs up.
Yep.
He
Another
understands.
thumbs up. His own teammate, yeah.
Here we go. It's Ty,
Tie on the ball. There's 2 touches.
Oh,
but he gives it away.
And he's
He
apologising.
Well, I hope you enjoyed that little clip of all of the AFTV lads playing football. Any standouts there, boys?
Tie with the 3,000 turnovers were the standout for me.
2-touch tie, and then he got dragged off in that game. Lee Judges, a couple of bad tackles from him flying in. Grant Simmond with the super chat. Arsenal fans won't admit that Odegaard is playing very different this season because the £100 million number 6 who can't receive the ball with his back to goal.
Yeah, I disagree.
Yeah.
Rice has put in
Great shifts.
Almost like for the first 4 or 5 games he played, he was like borderline man of the match. He's not dropped less than a 7 or 8 out of 10 every single game. I was out in Portugal watching the Arsenal United game with a couple of United fans, Rants, my boy Zad, and they were like, he can't pass forwards. He's a crab. He goes sideways. And then they were like, Ole in every pass he played forwards, and then he contributed to a couple of goals, and then they went quiet. So yeah, thanks for the comment. Big love, but let's try and keep it stuff that makes sense. That'd be ideal.
Carl says, AGT, the more he speaks, the more you notice the nonsense. Give me a new Liverpool host, please, says Carl. Can't please everyone.
Mate, a lot of haters today.
Do you know what? You get that, but you get the good ones as well.
Something's in the air.
Who stick up for me. But thank you for watching is what I should say. If you don't like it, there is other stuff. Well, there's not really other stuff to this level, but go and do what you need to do. The second halves have started. We are underway in the Premier League again.
Let's go,
Old
Wolves.
Trafford, it's still 1-0 to Crystal Palace. Newcastle still 1 up. West Ham 2 up. And Wolverhampton Wanderers leading the champions of everything.
Shaky City. They lost in midweek, didn't they? So
they did lose in midweek, yep.
Maybe they're shaky. This is the time. We're playing them soon.
There you go.
That's it. No Rodri at the carpet. 3 points guaranteed, I reckon.
Big but.
Stick Havertz up top.
Jesus.
Big Havertz up top.
I got humbled last year. I was very confident. City.
I'm the opposite. I've never been confident.
What City and Arsenal, the fixture City versus Arsenal is almost like Liverpool versus Tottenham. No matter how the other team is playing, you know who's going to win. Hopefully this year will be different.
We can only beat them in cup competition. We just can't buy.
It's a big hoodoo in the league for you guys.
Even in cup competition, when's the last time we beat them?
We beat them in the Community Shield. We beat them in the last 2 FA Cup runs.
I'm not counting them. I'm not counting that 1-1. We drew and we won them. We didn't beat them.
True, that is true. But even when we played them in the last 2 FA Cup runs, we played them.
FA Cup last season, they dumped us out. Carabao
That's
Cup.
true, yeah. Before that, when we won it.
Probably the last time we beat them in the cup was when we won the FA Cup in Arteta's first.
At least
season.
we have reasonably competitive games in cups. Like in the league, it's not even competitive. We just get smoked.
We just get moved to.
Yeah, we beat them every year in the league at Anfield, but away it's
something else.
Story, man. This is why I love this show, right? Because you get a bit of hate, but then it's AGT, plummy voice, glory hunter, Muppet, Chelsea vet 79. But then AGT is the best host, my G. Where's all the AGT hate coming from? I don't get it. AGT, you're a legend. Keep up the good work. So it's all about balance. Tell the haters to shut up.
And in fairness to that Chelsea vet, he needs to rant, doesn't he? He needs to get it all off his chest. He needs to smash his keyboard and get really angry. We understand.
AGT is one of the best hosts. I'm a Chelsea fan and Chelsea vet. You're an idiot, says Ryan. Shout out to you. Anyway, let's move on from me bigging myself and slewing myself. Still 1-0 at Old Trafford, Crystal Palace after a fantastic volleyed finish from Anderson. The centre-back puts them up. And I'll tell you what, that goal, he'll be dreaming about that one tonight because the way he's hit it, I don't think... It's almost like he's hit it quite early. I think people maybe expecting him to take a touch, but it's kind of ricocheted to him and he's just put his laces through
audacious.
Top bins, mate.
It's audacious, isn't it? You're looking at it and you're thinking, no way you hit that. How dare you? Who do you think you are?
Do you know what?
There you go.
Absolute scorcher.
Centre-backs that could strike the ball and score. Well, let's take it back a few years. Sami Hyypiä, mate.
Yeah.
33 goals for Liverpool. I remember one against Tottenham. It's come down. He's the edge of the box and he's just volleyed it straight in. He used to score some great strikes.
Chelsea had a period of
mostly headers, to be fair.
David Luiz.
That's what I was going to say. They had Alex. Remember the Brazilian Alex?
Yeah.
They had David Luiz. Yeah, they could all smash him.
No, honestly, some of the centre-backs as...
Harry Maguire from a penalty spot.
Yeah. best centre-back scorers in the Prem. I think John Terry's got the most, but Sami Hyypiä's got to be up there.
We got to
Tony Adams
Christmas one year when Thomas Vermaelen was our top goal scorer.
Oh yeah, Vermaelen. He
scored a few. Great left foot on him, wasn't he?
TV5.
Great left foot. Daniel Agger.
Oh yes, that's
Steve Bruce. Great shout from Air Pierre. Very, very good shout from you.
It's a throwback. Yes, that's true.
Come on, you Spurs, says David Bowles. Always been a David Brent fan. Let's go, AGT, says Wheelie. I mean, I'll take it because he is the GOAT, obviously. So big up to you for noticing that. Alex's free kicks were fire, says Ryan as well. I remember he scored one against Liverpool in the Champions League from like 35 yards, just absolutely thunder blasted it.
He scored one against
moved all
Arsenal.
over and goes top bins. I remember that one as well. Look at this game. Colchester in League 2, they're 3-2 up against league leaders Notts County.
Wow.
County have just scored early on in the second half in that game. County, have you guys watched the latest Wrexham documentary?
No, I actually just need to watch it, period.
Because in that, obviously County and Wrexham are going massively head-to-head last season.
Really?
They both came up into League 2, massive rivals. And I think the documentary makers reached out to Notts County and said, would you like to be in our documentary? And because of their recent big rivalry, they said, and I quote, no thanks, you can stick your rubbish documentary up your ass.
No way.
Love that.
They actually
said
replied to that with
wow.
Yeah,
Love that.
and that in itself made the documentary.
Because Wrexham annoy me a little bit. I've said this to you. We've had this conversation
Yeah, I
before.
remember you saying.
They annoy me a little bit. I'm not going to lie. You know, they're a bit pretentious, and obviously they're a bit like
Hollywood.
They're a bit like Brighton's TikTok. They're trying to do things a little bit differently and shake things up a little bit. And old school traditional football clubs are not going to like that. So
And Notts County are the oldest football club in the world. Speaking of Wrexham, they've just scored. Paul Mullin, 2-2 at home to Crewe. Crewe Alexander, where Danny Murphy came from to join Liverpool back in the day. But yeah, Wrexham and County like that in the National League. Now they're like that again in League 2. And Paul Mullin, who's actually a big star of this documentary, their main man.
The striker, right?
The striker from the Wirral. He's up front for them. He scores.
One of my boys used to be captain of Crewe Alexander.
Yeah?
Yep, Abdul Osimhen. And he was captain of Northampton and not Liverpool at the FA Cup.
In 2010.
Yeah, with a penalty.
How are
Roy
Wrexham
Hodgson times. Yeah,
doing
I remember it,
too?
pissing it down that
I
night.
wonder.
But yeah, interesting to see that one. Peterborough 2, Bristol Rovers
Wolves
0.
keep coming forward. Everyone's attacking today. Bournemouth are trying to attack Arsenal.
Tell you what, Wolves are looking good on the ball.
But the thing is, though, apparently City, like the Wolves goal when it just came out and like it came in a spell of complete City dominance.
But that's how it always happens. That happens to us all the time. We'll have 85% of the ball. Do you know what I mean? And then Jorginho will slip, and then Spurs will start celebrating a draw. You know, this is how these things happen.
Oh, that's
Here's a question for you all. Obviously, there's no Rodri today. We're seeing a couple of comments saying that City, without Rodri in that midfield, look a bit too open. I mean, he is, without doubt, in my opinion, the best CDM in the world. But when he's not playing, does City leave themselves a little bit too exposed? I mean, listen, there's still another half to play essentially, but
the problem
so far it's...
I think yes, because there's one aspect of Rodri's game that a lot of people don't watch. He, for the amount of yellow cards he's gotten in comparison to the fouls he's made, I need to get the stat, but it's ridiculous.
It's like Fernandinho as well.
He's so good at making these clever, cute little fouls that break up the game. He does it so much against us every time we play them, and he never gets a yellow for it. And I think City are really going to miss that when he's gone, because teams, if without those fouls, City are a much more easier team to get at. So,
Haaland having a shot on target there, a bit of a into the ground strike, but Arsenal definitely looking to. Oh, and they've got another penalty. Arsenal have another penalty.
Easy pen.
At the Vitality, it looks like a bit of a stonewaller. It was Christie on Odegaard. And I guess it's interesting to see who will take this penalty now.
I reckon they'll switch it back to Saka.
Yeah, I think it'll be Saka.
With the less pressure on the penalty, and he can do something a little bit different. But just before that penalty gets taken...
Let's have a look. Oh, it's a Stonewall pen.
Yeah, it's very, very rash.
To be fair, he's injured himself in that. If you look here, he's been kneed in the head by Odegaard.
Something we didn't cover while that...
and it is a goal. Arsenal 3-0 up.
It's never in doubt. It's never in doubt.
3-0 up
now we're talking.
It's never in doubt.
This is what I've been asking for. Be ruthless.
I'm
Kill teams.
I'm not going to lie to you. My prediction was Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 3. And that is the score right now.
That's killed my prediction.
Same as mine. What I was going to say is...
Havertz.
Yes. Kai Havertz.
Yes.
Kai Havertz has finally scored for Arsenal.
Yes.
Wow. 53 minutes. He gets his first goal.
Please give me a knee slide Drogba celebration.
I want to see this. I want to see the celebration.
So Saka holds the ball, gives it to Havertz.
Saka assist.
Do you know what?
Saka assist, I reckon.
Do you know what? I take my hat off to Arteta there, because that is the perfect opportunity to give someone who has zero confidence, boost them up a bit, give them a penalty.
Yeah.
and he's done just that. I actually said, walking into the studio, I said, "Oh, Havertz starts today. I bet he scores."
Make him, good shout.
And he
Make him
has.
feel like a
But
winner.
the AFTV studio is going mental. I know James B. We've been every week.
Talk us through the penalty. He steps up. He looks fairly calm.
He does have technical ability, Havertz. That's not really been the issue.
It's 100% a confidence
Yes,
thing.
confidence and body language, I think, a little bit. Oh, he does the starter
That's
run
a
up
good
and goes
pen.
bottom left. Yep, sends the keeper a little bit.
Muted celebrations there. I mean, it means so much to him.
And
It's
But this is what he needs.
celebrates
The whole team celebrating and jumping on top of him. That's what he needs.
a
Putting
big
him over.
monkey off his back. That
I like
isn't
that.
It?
I like that.
Yeah.
They're pushing him over to the fans to celebrate.
I like that.
They
Come
want to
on,
give
Kai.
him that moment with the fans. And I think all round, that is brilliant from Arsenal. They could have given it to Odegaard. They couldn't give it to
Come on, my
Saka.
guy.
Saka gives the ball to Havertz and says, "Go on, bro. I know they've been on your back a little bit. Go and do your
That's
thing."
leadership.
That is leadership.
That's leadership from Saka at such a young age. That's maturity. And obviously good captaining from Odegaard and all people involved as well.
It's a great pen as well.
He's a very good pen, very tidy pen. 3 goals, 3 different goal scorers. There you go.
There you go. Arsenal cruising away.
I wanted to say on
at
Manchester
Bournemouth
City
now.
as well, what you guys were talking about there, are they too open without their natural defensive midfielder in there? At half time, Mateus Nunes taken off.
Wow,
And
against
it's
his old
Bob.
club.
It's Bob.
Bob.
Yeah, Bob.
Bob's
He's
on.
squad number 52. So
Bob
I'm assuming it's a youngster. And I've just been trying to see if he's come off because of a performance issue or because of an injury.
Oscar
Who's
Bob.
this?
Oscar Bob.
Mateus Nunes, who's then more natural, somebody that's going to kind of cover that Rodri position. I know Kovacic is still on the pitch, but maybe slightly more box to box.
What is going on with
Oscar
Phillips?
Bob is a Norwegian 20-year-old.
Yep.
Who's come on to replace Mateus Nunes, who's obviously had a bad
Phillips
game.
needs to go, man.
Nah, he'll sit on the money.
Phillips
He's
still
good.
on the bench. Yeah, didn't come on. I'm not being funny. That is one of the biggest flops in recent times, Calvin Phillips, with the money he cost.
But
Barely
because
played.
they're so successful.
Really?
yeah.
Bob, are you serious?
Well,
And he's
there you go.
Norwegian.
This was one of the best number 6s in the league 2 seasons ago. How on earth are you riding the bench for a guy called Bob that we've never heard of?
He was never one of the best number 6s.
He was.
To define one of the
Maybe top 6, number 6.
He was in terms.
but I feel like
That's not that good, though.
yeah, but and also it's because he was playing for Leeds, who were just getting hammered,
Yeah.
and also Leeds were in the spotlight a lot, so a lot of what he was doing was getting highlighted.
Okay.
Yeah.
There were solid number 6 performances that you might go a little bit unnoticed. To be fair, I don't know. I always thought it was a little bit. Maybe I'm being unfair. I always thought it was a little
No,
bit
but
overrated.
come on.
but
Every one of us thought he'd at least be doing a better job. Like when
Or
City
just
signed
play
him,
10 games. Yeah, I don't even think he's played 10
just
games.
minutes.
Like,
Just
he's-
minutes.
this
But I know
is
what you
just
mean.
a-
I know what you're saying. Yeah, to be
this is
behind Oscar
symbolic.
Bob is shocking.
because when City
Big
signed
up to Oscar Bob, though. Good
100%.
moment for him.
when City signed him, people
Wolves on
were
the
like,
break again. They've been doing this. They've been playing counter-attacking play, and this is Wolves' problem.
Oh.
Just here, this has always been Wolves' problem. Running into the box. Is
That
it
was a
Cunha?
foul, was it not?
I think it might have been a foul, but but the ref hasn't given it. He's running in towards the box. There's 3 defenders around him. He's got some support members coming with him, and they never release the ball. Adama used to be exactly the same. Neto, we've seen it similar stuff as well. They never, once they start bombing towards the box, they just do not release the ball. But yeah, they're playing really well on the counter attack here, Wolves.
They are, and it's approaching 60 minutes there at Molineux. We'll let you know how this game develops, but Oscar Bob is on. Mateus
Now the
Nunes
ref
off.
is going to give.
Oh.
Ref's going to give a free kick.
It's a goal for Manchester City, just as we were talking about it. Oscar Bob comes on, wins a free kick just outside
It's
the box.
It's the same.
Julian Alvarez has the goal.
It's the same foul
it a
as
free
what just
kick?
happened. AGT. It's the same foul as what just happened on the other end of the pitch,
But it
but
wasn't given.
it wasn't given.
And you assume that Julian Alvarez scores directly from this free kick as well.
City relying on set pieces.
It's now Colchester 4.
when's he become a
Notts
set
County
piece
2, by the way.
Don? Because this guy,
He must have done a few free kicks. in
Alvarez,
training,
man, this guy's such a good player. I don't think I know people acknowledge it, but it just doesn't. The guy's a really good player.
Yeah.
Like, wow.
Yeah.
And City got him for what, 14 M's?
Yeah. 12 M's, I think it was.
I mean, United had the
from
chance
River
to sign
Plate.
him, right?
They did. But let's have a look at this. Julian Alvarez goal, La Raña, as he's known in Argentina. Spider. Let's have a look. Oh, it's a
what
great
a
goal.
goal.
What a goal.
What a goal.
Julian Alvarez, take a bow. What a goal. Almost had 8 legs for that one. Pep Guardiola barely celebrating in the stands, not in the dugout, but he is in the stadium. And Julian Alvarez has almost sent Jose Sa the wrong way there, if that makes sense. You know, from that angle, you're thinking a right foot across the goal, maybe a far corner curler as Jose Sa sets up for it. But the wall's not done their job, if I'm honest. The wall was dispersed and barely jumped.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, anyone.
I mean, I'm not taking away from the goal. It's a fantastic free kick.
What a good free kick.
It really is top bins. But if we look here, the wall, in my opinion, doesn't do its job. And maybe the keeper could have got to it. I don't know. But listen, what a goal from Julian Alvarez. And it's 1-1.
Oof.
Does put pressure
Really
back on
nasty
Liverpool
foul.
now to go
Straight
and win.
away.
But it's
Is that
still
yellow
1-0.
for Kovacic?
Kovacic, yellow card instantly after that goal. Cardiff in the Championship are now 1-0 up at home to Rotherham. Keon Etete with the goal from being 0-0 at half time between Norwich and Birmingham. 59 minutes in, it's now 2-0 to Norwich. John Rowe with the goal for the Canaries, and it's also now 2-0 to Swansea away at Millwall.
Nice.
Matt Grimes has scored as Swansea look to relaunch their season. Can they finish this game off with a win? Well, it's looking likely at the minute. 57 minutes, they're now 2-0 up away at Millwall. Louis Barry scores again for Stockport. What a season he's having on loan from Aston Villa in League 2. It's now Stockport 3-0 up away at Accrington Stanley. Who are they? Exactly. Yeah, brilliant from Louis Barry. Scored loads and buckets of goals this season for Stockport. Let's have a look at this Kovacic yellow card on Mateus.
No, this isn't the yellow card. This isn't this is the initial foul from beforehand.
That's a foul.
There's no ball in that. They don't. Yeah, it's a clear foul on Cunha. Doesn't get given. Goes up the other end, and then they go and score.
Wolves have had a lot of those this season.
Really
Poor decisions.
Again on the counter attack. Here we go. We've released it. Oh, the final ball is just not there.
Nick, what about DR Boxing Show? Is it coming back? Says Himan Nashu with the super chat.
We're having some conversations about some of the big fights that are coming up, announcements on Tyson Fury fights and different things like that. So we will keep you abreast. You have to be subscribed to the channel, of course, to keep up to date with everything that's going to be happening, because there will be some big fights coming. And also you can subscribe to my channel, Nick J. Francis, and we're covering lots of boxing over there, so, including the Canelo fight tonight.
We love to see it. QPR 0, Coventry 2 now. Big result for the Sky Blues if it stays that way.
What
John
is going
Eccles on the hour mark has doubled Coventry's lead away at Loftus Road. Huddersfield 1, Ipswich Town 0. Ipswich, a great result in the week, beating Wolves in the Cup. But Darren Moore's Huddersfield have gone 1 up thanks to Delano. Bergzorg has scored the goal in 61 minutes there as well. Obviously, Neil Warnock has recently left Huddersfield, and Darren Moore, who was tragically let go by Sheffield Wednesday, in my opinion, has come back to be leading now with Huddersfield. So looking forward to that. Let's jump into a little bit more of a preview for Tottenham versus Liverpool today. We're seeing a little trailer of the game here on the TV. There's so many games that I can think of where there's been drama, goals, red cards in this fixture. I mean, it might not go down as, you know, a Man City, Man United, a Liverpool, Man City, or an Arsenal, Man City. But what you're getting from this fixture almost every single time is drama. And if you're a neutral, it's a great game to watch. I wouldn't say nervous, just hope that the Liverpool that I've seen on Thursday night turns up. I'm so aware of the dangers that they pose with Maddison and Son. I just feel like the opening 20 minutes is massive in this game.
Yeah, I expect it to be frenetic as always. If I had to describe it, it's going to be frenetic. But I think Liverpool, if it's a frenetic game, I think Liverpool thrive in those types of games a lot more than Spurs do. I'm looking forward to it because I want to see this new look, or this, what they're calling it, Liverpool's 2.0, the new version of Klopp's teams. I want to see how that team deals with a team that's actually playing well and got a good manager, good system. I want to see how Liverpool do when their team gets stressed out for a bit. But offensively, Liverpool, I think, will always have a bit too much for that Spurs defence. Because as good as they played against Arsenal last season, the way Spurs play, I mean, Arsenal last week. The way Spurs play, if Liverpool continue their normal gegenpress, high press, you will see a lot of turnovers with this Tottenham team. They're as good as as brave as they are. There's still a bit of naivety in the way they play, and I think a better team against Spurs last week punishes them for their errors, because they could have been 3-0 down half-time and it's a different game. I think they can't afford to do that against Liverpool today. You'll get punished by a Salah. You will get killed. So I'm looking forward to it.
I was hearing some early team news coming in for Liverpool. I'm hearing that Diaz, Gakpo and Salah are the front three.
Wow.
For
that
this
was
game.
That was going to be my
Nunes,
point.
Trent and Jota on the bench.
The main point I was going to make about the Liverpool game is that both teams have pretty good midfields. That's where Tottenham have been doing a lot of their best work. I think what you said about Curtis Jones, would McAllister be playing or not?
Again, that's just the front three that I've heard about.
But the key difference between the two teams for me is that when you think about Tottenham and you think about their goals, you think about Maddison, you think about Son, Richarlison obviously can chip in, Kulusevski can chip in, but Wolves in behind again. Nope, it's broken down. But Liverpool have way more goal scorers. They just have, whoever the front three are, there's another 2 or 3, potentially coming off the bench, depending on fitness. You've got Jota, you've got Nunes, you've got these guys coming off the bench, and there's more goal scorers there. So the action will go late, even if Spurs are up. This is why you guys will go a goal down and then come back later into the game, because you just have a lot of goal scorers. A slightly weaker midfield from a number 6 position, but honestly, the amount of proper goal scorers that you've got is crazy. So for us, when we're looking at the ball, let's say someone has a shot for Arsenal and it deflects, we really don't want it dropping to Nketiah. We want it dropping to maybe Trossard, we want it dropping maybe Jesus. It could drop to anybody in your attack. There's 4, 5, 6 players that it could drop to. And to be fair, we've got the same. It's just Nketiah we really don't want it dropping to. But you guys have a lot of players there. So I think that's maybe the edge. And Calvin Phillips is coming on for Kovacic. So let's see what he does now.
Interesting though. City been trailing since the 14th minute. Jack Grealish has not come on.
There's been another goal at the Molineux, and it's Wolves that have scored.
Come on!
Wolves 2,
Come on!
Manchester City 1.
Yes!
Hey, it's
right after a goal line clearance.
It's Dawson.
Right after a goal line clearance.
Dawson clears it off the line.
Yes! Wank you beauty!
And it's just after Calvin Phillips comes on as well. Calvin Phillips comes on.
People
are calling for him to come on.
Cursed.
Big up Oscar Bob as well, man. Shout out Oscar Bob.
Shout out Bobby Boy as well,
Oscar Bob's been good since he's come on, but I'll tell you what.
And it's Hwang Hee-chan who has scored for Wolves to go 2-1 up. Now City are really going to have to show us what they're made of. Preston at home, 3-0 down to West Brom. Matty Phillips on the 62nd minute, adding insult to injury there. But talk us through this goal, Nick.
It's gone down the line to, I think, Semedo, across the box, defensive header. It's a little bit scrappy, and on the second or third attempt, then it goes in. And
love it.
They've been knocking at the door. And do you know what the worst thing is about this? The fact that it's 2-1. It's that it's deserved. It's not just against the run of play, or you got a bit lucky,
and
dodgy ref decision.
If anything,
a 2-0 or a 3-0 is really what the game should have been. Although to be fair, there've been a couple off the line clearances, but it's a very well deserved.
Does well there.
Very, very well deserved. And like you said, we're still not seeing Grealish. We're not. He's actually gone for 2 when they were trailing. They've brought on 2 holding midfielders to cover for the one holding midfielder they've lost, and we're not actually seeing attacking players coming on.
When are we gonna start having dialogue about him?
Really good from Cunha, who keeps his head to find his man who's in a better position than him. It was Semedo down the right, who whips it nastily across the face of goal. It's headed away from Akanji. Strike from Hwang, who gets it back from
lovely composure
Cunha, who really calmly finishes it. Let's just have a look at the actual finish itself. It goes through the legs of Diaz, who blocks it, comes back to Cunha, who gives it back to Hwang, and it could have been cleared off the line by Kyle Walker. It was coming at him with some pace.
Brilliant defending from Kyle Walker. I know he doesn't get it out, but just throws his body right in front of that. Yeah, very, very brave and great positioning, but very unfortunate on Kyle Walker's part. But yeah, Wolves deserve that goal overall, 100%.
Let's go back to League Two. Colchester 4, Notts County 3. What a game.
a high scorer.
And speaking of Notts County, Wrexham have just gone 3-2 down.
Wow.
Whenever Notts County score, Wrexham concede and vice versa.
Wow.
These two teams are like...
Somebody
mad.
should make a documentary about them.
I know. And it might even already be out on Disney+. Let's go back to QPR. Goes from bad to worse for QPR. Coventry 3-0 up now away. Ellis Sims, who, of course, did come from Everton last season. He scored a third. But going up to the Scottish Premiership, it's not looking good for Rangers as well. They're now 2-0 down at home to Aberdeen, especially after Celtic winning earlier on in the day. Rangers will not be happy with this one. Already murmurs that they want the manager out, and this result will do nothing but fuel those rumours as Aberdeen take the lead again. It's 2-0 away at Rangers. Goal for Southend away at Rochdale in the National League. Southend so close to going out of existence altogether. Harry Cardwell scored for them to give them a 2-2 equaliser away at Rochdale, whereas Grimsby have got one away at Swindon in League Two. It's now 2-1 to Swindon.
Going back to
Nelson and Tomiyasu on.
Yeah, I was going to say, going back to Arsenal, it's Zinchenko and Nketiah coming off. I do like these subs, but I was going to say exactly what you're saying. We've got to take off Saka. We're 3-0 up. You know, we're full of confidence. We're not
Bring on Smith Rowe.
You know, Smith Rowe is there. Fabio Vieira can do that role. Kai Havertz could even do that role, and we could put Fabio Vieira in the midfield. I don't really care who does that role. I just want Saka off for the next 20-25 minutes.
Save his legs.
You know, and save his legs.
He shouldn't be rested against RC Lens because Lens.
Yeah,
because they've not been good this season, but they were one of the best teams in their league last season. So
got confirmed lineups here for you coming out of Tottenham and Liverpool. Let's start with the home team first. Let's start with the away team. It's the first one I've seen. Alisson, Gomez back in at right back from the last game. Matip and Van Dijk. I would have thought Konate would have started, but no, he's on the bench. Robertson, midfield of McAllister, Szoboszlai, Curtis Jones, Diaz, Salah and Gakpo. And on the bench, listen to this bench. Kelleher, Endo, Konate, Nunez, Elliott, Jota, Tsimikas, Gravenberch and Trent Alexander-Arnold. Wow. Maybe Liverpool's best bench in Premier League history, that potentially. I'm not sure. Let us know.
Matip starts.
I'm surprised that Nunez doesn't start, if I'm really honest as well. For Tottenham, Vicario in goal, Pedro Porro, Romero, Van der Ven and Udogi in the back five, Bissouma and Sarr with Son, Maddison, Kulusevski and Richarlison, who starts through the middle. And on the bench for them, Mana Solomon, Emerson Royale, Fraser Forster, and Pierre-Emile Højbjerg and Oliver Skipp. So not much to come off the bench there for Tottenham. Thanks. There's been a red card as well. Ibrox now. Right on the 71st minute has seen red. It goes bad to worse for Rangers as we approach the 72nd minute. In all of the Premier League games, as things stand, Arsenal cruising away at the Vitality 3-0. Saka, Odegaard and Havertz, two of them penalties, and Saka didn't score either of them. That shows you
And I've got the script. Reece Nelson goal incoming in the next 10 minutes.
Surely, it must be. Everton are still losing at home to Luton Town. What a 3 points this would be if the Hatters can hold on here to their hats and keep their cool.
Nice.
Cheers. And get the 3 points at Goodison Park. Manchester United still goalless for them at home to Crystal Palace. It's still 1-0 thanks to the Anderson wonder strike. Manchester United fans, let us know how you're feeling about this. It's unbelievable. DR Chaos always causing defence headaches. I think he means Darwin, Buffalo. That will teach Pep for calling Hwang the Korean guy. Did you see that in the week?
Wait, what?
I didn't see that.
He did say that. I saw him say it. He said they've got great players, Neto, Cunha, and the Korean guy. Now that Korean guy has just scored what could be the winner against you, Pep.
So give him Muhammad Ali. Say my name. Say my name.
Is it an innocent mistake, perhaps?
It could be, but he's been playing in the Prem long enough to know his name.
Yeah, he's
Hwang Lee-chan.
If he doesn't know,
and plus it is your opposition, you should know.
If he doesn't know Hwang's name, he shouldn't know Calvin Phillips' name.
Oh, it's a good point from Nick Francis.
Wow.
That's why he's on. We'll go back to Goodison Park. 71 and a half minutes gone there. Time is ticking for the Toffees to get back at the Hatters. Still trailing 2-1 at home.
Where's Foden, by the way? Is he playing?
He started.
Very quiet
Yeah,
game.
he's playing.
Oh, okay, just checking.
Very quiet game. It's now Colchester 5, Notts County 3. What a mad league League 2 is, by the way, with Wrexham and Notts County shipping and scoring goals in equal measures. Damn, Nick, says O'Brien Dennis with the laughing face. We love to see it. 75 minutes now going at St James's Park. Still 1-0 to Newcastle. But apparently there's been a penalty at St James's. We've also just seen a tweet from Tapping Tobes who says, Pedro Neto, bring him to N17, big baller, he says.
Unfortunately, he's coming to Arsenal. So
unfortunately
we've
for all
wanted
of
him
you,
for a long time.
he could be coming to Liverpool. Who
You've
knows?
got endless players to play that
I'm
position.
only saying it to be involved, but we probably won't be, to be honest. But Rashford in a bit of a slump at the minute for Manchester United.
I was just looking at sofa scores. You say that Højlund 6.2, the lowest rated player on the pitch.
Wow.
And not suboptimal for Marcus Rashford too.
I've just seen a tweet saying the name's Chan. Hang Hee Chan.
Wolves admin, the Korean guy. Wow.
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 What is that what they tweeted on?
They tweeted it.
No.
That's brilliant.
These admins.
That's brilliant. No, but
to
to me,
God.
Wolves' social media account is sharp though. Remember the Diego Costa announcement and stuff like that? They're brilliant. I think Wolves and Burnley do the best announcements.
Wow, Wolves really digging it in like that.
Yeah.
These admins have got chest, you know.
It must
faceless trolls.
But it's not just
that's
that.
exactly what they are.
Faceless trolls.
That's exactly what they are.
It's not just that though. It must clearly mean something to the player. If they've gone and tweeted that, that's clearly
During
a
a
sign
game.
that the player was maybe bothered by that.
Do you think they?
I don't think they
tweet
that
these
if-
things without sign off, or do they just want instant engagement because they know it will bang? Do you know what I mean?
No, but there's something like that happened days ago or the day before. They would have. I think that the player might have.
Do you think in their social meeting they would have said, "Listen, if Hwang scores, let's call him the Korean guy"? Do you know what I mean?
For sure, 100%.
Who does that get signed off by?
100. I think they've got a certain element of wiggle room, but I think surely,
because it has, as we've noticed with Napoli recently, it can come back to bite you. Let's touch on that because it's just pure stupidity isn't the word, ridiculousness isn't really the word, shooting yourself in the foot isn't really the word. You've targeted, abused, and mocked your best player in a silly way, but there's also racial undertones, which I didn't like as well, in that video that your club has put out of you. I mean, in response, Osimhen has actually taken off every post of him playing for Napoli on his Instagram.
Oh, he's gone. He's gone.
I mean, that is just... It's like Arsenal doing something to Saka or us doing that to Mo Salah.
We are doing something to Saka.
Stupidness.
He's down injured. He's down getting treatment because we're overrunning him. But anyway, that's what you're saying.
I don't think I've seen many more stupid things. And listen, we're all football fans. We've all seen stories that we never thought would happen, really. But that one there, it's if the person who posted that hasn't been sacked, then I'm not too sure what's going on in the world.
It goes back to your conversation about sign-off, though. Would they get sacked if somebody higher up in the club has given the sign-off, or if they think that's banter, if they think that's acceptable? Well, surely... players have got we've seen players liking comps of their own videos or commenting love hearts on social media posts, stuff like that. So they're aware what's out there. How involved they are, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? If we had I'm Jamaican, so just as an example, if we had a Jamaican player and they made a Jamaican banter Arsenal or something like that, they must know that the player's going to be okay with that before just randomly saying it. They must do. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know. I mean,
self-destruction isn't even the word.
They just haven't apologized. That's the thing.
Yeah.
This guy, people
won you the league,
bro. He did
first time in 30 odd years.
Talk about Kvaradona all you want. He was good last season, but Osimhen won them. He won them the league. And to treat your best player like this, to not even apologize, you need to be rolling the red carpet. This is your best player. How are you going to just try and sweep it under the carpet? You should be apologizing to him.
You should be begging him for forgiveness.
It's just crazy. It's almost like the Yaya Toure cake incident.
Yeah.
It's Samba Liverpool.
Maybe a bit worse, but that one was a howler as well. Farouk Super Chat says, AGT, can you give us Ange's team talk in Australian? Just go and win, mate. I used to be a fan of these guys, so... I don't want any headlines, but no, go out there and win. The scarces need humbling. You sent a super chat, so I felt like I had to do it. But big up.
Nice one. On the impressions one, like there's one of my favorite. Have you seen that comedian that does football celebrations in slow-mo?
The slow-mo. That guy blew up, man.
I love him. It's
Cole
the faces as well.
Yeah. That honestly blew up so much, man.
Here comes Jack Grealish with 13 minutes to go.
Boys, in amongst all that talking, Saka has hobbled off the pitch.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Talk to me.
Yeah, well, that's why I was.
That's our manager for you.
That's what I was saying. Arsenal come close again to fourth goal, but yeah, he's. I don't know. I mean, it's silly to play him for this long when we're 3-0 up, and 2, he was already an injury doubt before the game. So
and he maybe picked up a knock in the first half.
Yeah, exactly. So that there are 3 reasons why he needs to come off, and this is the type of stubbornness that frustrates Arsenal fans. I'm not going to go as far as say Arteta out or anything stupid like that, but I can see where some of the frustration comes from. With, we don't want to be taking years off of this young man's career, especially not in games like this. Is not Manchester City for the league.
You both said, didn't you, just before Reece Nelson came on, you said surely Saka should be the one going off here. That 100%. Was 60 odd minutes.
Yeah. And Nketiah is another player that needs confidence. Nketiah needs goals. He could do with a little easy tap in or something like that. He's got energy for days.
Keep him on if it's 3-0. Keep Nketiah on, but just take Saka off.
Yeah,
and now he's injured, so I'm sorry, but Arteta's going to have to.
He has to take
hold some questions on that. You might have won the game comfortably, but at what cost? Saka now looks like he's maybe not available for the Man City game, which in terms of management, you sense that if you got a knock at half time, right, we'll go 1-0 up again, we'll get another goal, you're coming straight off, bro. And he's kept him on, and during that time he's got injured. I really can't understand that from Arteta.
Maybe he knows they're losing. They're losing to 2-1 to Wolves, and actually don't take them seriously.
He doesn't know how to rotate players. Like, this is a massive defect of his game. People gave him excuses last season. I still think in some games last season he could have played different players. He didn't do that. They gave him the excuse. Everyone else is dead. Okay, this season, bro, Smith Rowe's fit, Vieira's fit, Nelson's fit. Play these guys. Why are you not bringing them on sooner? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, from the beginning of the game, obviously Vieira has come on now for Saka, but from he's left it very late. But we had Reece Nelson, Fabio Vieira, Leandro Trossard, and Emile Smith Rowe. So it's not like the early days where we'd have to take off an Aubameyang and replace him with bloody Socrates. Yeah. We've got a half decent squad at this point to we can, without really dropping the level too much, but there you go.
Also confirmation that it was an Alexander Isak penalty.
Oh, nice.
To take Newcastle 2-0 up at home to Burnley. That did go under the radar. So Newcastle also cruising in that one too. Let's see how we're getting on at Manchester United. Time is ticking, ladies and gents, and United need to score. By the way, we've got over 2,500 of you right now. Make sure you're smashing that like button. Let's get that likes up to 1,000. We're currently just under 600. No excuses. If you're enjoying the show, then please do like it. It does help us as Kai Havertz comes off the pitch for Arsenal, gets a goal. Emile Smith Rowe comes on.
Yeah, better. And just on Manchester United as well, more reports. Casemiro clattered into the back of Eze, and lots of people of the opinion, neutrals of the opinion, that should really be a second yellow card. And apparently he's really ridden his luck in this second half on that yellow card, as he does.
There you go. Pep knows Hee-Chan Huang's name now, says Rodeo Boy 94. Thank you for the super chat. Come on, Bernie, says Zero Requiem.
Oh dear, we don't want to see that.
What's happened here?
Well, yeah, Huang's down. Oh, Man City actually showing that they're rattled. And I'm not just saying this because I'm an Arsenal fan, but this is exactly the kind of stuff that we had done in seasons gone by. Almost identical, actually. Huang's gone down with a leg injury or some cramp. And Doku runs over. He's just right by the line, and Doku's trying to roll him off the pitch. Which, if that is a genuine injury, can obviously make his injury a lot worse. Yeah. And then everyone's bundled over and got involved, as he should. Jose Sarr's got a yellow. It's raining yellows. Kyle Walker got involved with Cunha, and it was all kicking off. And obviously, we've seen this from Arsenal when we're close to winning games or when things are a little bit tight. But it looks like Man City are genuinely
rattled
feeling the pressure a little bit.
I don't know what's come over them today.
It'd be interesting to see when the last time they had back-to-back losses was in all competitions.
Yeah, it's a good shout. Someone get that up for us. In the Championship, meanwhile, Millwall 0, Swansea 3. Kukraviec has scored for Swansea. It's a great result for them, isn't it?
Southampton.
Yes, Leeds lost to Southampton earlier on in the day.
I mean, Man City. I think I remember the period where they got moved to by Southampton last season. They lost back to back, I believe.
What was the game after? It might have been Liverpool. Stevenage 1, Oxford United 3. Elliot Moore making it 3-1 to Oxford away at Stevenage. We are approaching the last 8 to 9 minutes now of normal time in the Premier League. Still no changes really in terms of goals or action at Old Trafford. We're hearing so far that it is a bleak day for the Red Devils at home. They've had 15 shots, 4 on target, but no goals so far. Will they hold on, Crystal Palace? Let us know in the comments. It would take them up to 9th if they did win, and if they beat Manchester United, it takes them above United. United would go into 10th.
Speaking of United, the last time City, I think, lost back-to-back was against United when they lost at Old Trafford and Southampton a few days before when they got beat in the Carabao Cup.
There you go. The GOAT, Maguire coming on, says Joshua Roy Hodgson masterclass by the sounds of it, says Pedro Neves in the chat. United and Chelsea in the relegation battle, says Philly. That's weird so that mad. Phillips has got away with 2 clear fouls in this game. Calvin Phillips, that is.
I saw one of them. I think he fouled Cunha and then he stepped on his leg as he was walking away from him. It was really, really dirty.
Don't like that.
Yeah. And he's a big fella. Yeah, reports of him even being a little bit overweight, to be fair. So,
yeah, well, there were.
You guys seen the pic of Origi? You seen the pic of Origi?
Do you know what, though?
You are violating.
I'm not sticking up for Divock because I think it's wind.
Oh, come on.
I don't think he's got that fat because I saw him play on TV last week and he wasn't fat.
So what? But it looked like he was like a bulge.
You know, if a man is standing like this and it's really windy, sometimes a gust can get in your shirt and it makes you look really fat.
That's what always happens to me. That's what happens to me every day. It's outrageous. The wind is against me.
I'm sticking up for Divock because he's my king. Anyway, back to Ibrox. Rangers 1, Aberdeen 3.
Beal out.
Honestly, what a bad result that is for Rangers at home as well. Unbelievable. Isaac is miles clear of Ferguson, says Molt 3N4. Everton in the mud, says Hugh Ashcroft.
Can't argue with that.
Right now, yes, a couple of shock results today at Goodison Park. It's just coming up to 85 minutes and Everton are still 2-1 down at home to Luton under Lockyer and Morris have scored the goals and they were their main guys in the Championship last season. So we say it's poor, we say Everton should be winning, but all the credit must go to Luton if they can hold on to this because no one had them down to win this game. And as things stand, they will be winning this game.
Yeah. What's his name? Is it Edwards? The manager?
Yes, Rob Edwards, yeah.
Credit to them. Credit to Luton.
Looks like Arsenal are cruising all the way to 3 points, which takes them back up to second on 17 points. And if Liverpool win today and Man City lose or drop points, Liverpool go to the top of the table. Massive, massive game that's just got even bigger now at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in the Championship. Huddersfield 1, Ipswich Town 1, and it's the Manchester United loanee Brandon Williams who scores an equaliser on the 87th minute for the Tractor Boys away at Huddersfield. Really, really close to the end now. Old Trafford, scarily close. 89 minutes gone now at Old Trafford. Still Palace lead in that one.
What's Haaland been saying?
Donny van der Beek is on.
Wow.
Who'd have thought it? That's desperate.
Wow.
He's been injured, hasn't he?
Oh, God. I don't know what he's been.
Really bad injuries. Chance for Arsenal again. And it will go out for a goal kick.
Poor guy. Worse than being injured. He had to play Everton.
Domination.
That's even worse.
Yeah.
As expected, though. Been dumped from domination.
Joseph Joestar says, AGT, please remind us that apparently eras come to an end. Maybe not, my friend. If you're Manchester United, their era is definitely gone. But Man City losing away today, it gets really bad now for Preston. They're 4-0 down at home to West Brom. And that is a horrendous result for them at Deepdale.
Pure.
And Preston in the mud for sure. AGT equals Australia's Got Talent. Not quite. Thank you, though. It's getting to that point now at Old Trafford. 90 minutes are on the clock. We're going to find out very soon how many minutes added on there at the end of the game at Old Trafford. But it's Crystal Palace who looks like they're going to come away with the win there. Unbelievable result from a manager in Roy Hodgson who was very ill recently in a hospital. So
Really?
massive shout out to Roy Hodgson.
Is he back at the game?
He's back in.
Okay.
He was there on Tuesday. He's back there now. West Ham have cruised really to a 2-0 win at home to Sheffield United. Again, we're in added time at the London Stadium as well. That one will be wrapping up very, very shortly. Nick, you've got eyes on the Manchester United game. Is there any sign that there could be some late drama in United's favour?
Yeah, it should be. No, not in the United's favour. There should be more yellow cards. I mean, there's just keep fouling. Poor Ayew. He's been in the wars. Amrabat's had a nibble at him. I think Lindelof had a nibble at him, and they're just really struggling to really get a foothold in the game, to be honest with you. And now it's the corner flag treatment now from Crystal Palace. Straight to the corner flag, hold the ball up and grind it out.
Grind it out. Right, we're hearing there's been quite a lot of time added on in the Wolverhampton Wanderers game. We're just getting eyes on that as soon as we can.
It's always going to be the way, though, right? This is the new, 5 minutes is the new 3 minutes now. So you've got to expect
at least 5 or 6
extra.
4 minutes added on only at Old Trafford in that game. United are wanting a penalty, apparently.
They always are. United go into games wanting a penalty.
LJ asks, are we doing Tottenham versus Liverpool? We are. So we will be wrapping up this show as soon as it finishes and then setting up for the Tottenham-Liverpool game. AGT, Nunes isn't starting. What's your take, says Tiro? Yeah, if I'm honest, I wanted Nunes to start. I think Klopp likes to maybe go with Gakpo in away games just as more of a kind of defensive option, if you can call it that. But what an option to bring off the bench later on in the game. We saw it Newcastle away, didn't we? Darwin coming on for 13 minutes, scores 2 goals. So he does have an impact off the bench. Me personally, I would have started him. But there you go. What do I know?
Over Gakpo?
Over Gakpo, I would have started
Yeah, I
him.
think that's a good shout.
Just for this game, again.
And just that
like you said,
physicality
there's
as
so
well.
many options that we can afford to go 1 in, 1 out most weeks and mix it up. But no Nunes start
You want a
today.
consistent 11, though, right?
You do. But at the same time, when you've got options, you can afford to mix it up. And when you're playing in Europe and et cetera, you can afford to do that. Wolves hanging on here. What a spirited performance it is from them today. If they get this one over the line, what a result that is for Gary O'Neill and Wolverhampton Wanderers. They'll be absolutely over the moon if this one goes all the way. Gabby Jesus on the attack for Arsenal, cuts inside. That's surely a yellow card, is it not?
Ref, there's two. That
Must
should be 2
be a yellow card,
cards.
but the ref's played on.
Finish it.
And Emil Smith-Rowe put it wide.
Sitter.
That is a sitter.
They should have taken the
Sitter.
No.
the free.
Nah,
Nick,
he should score the sitter.
That's what you do. You score the goal and worry about that
Punish
after.
him.
Emil Smith-Rowe saying, "Oh my days," as he's just
Remember when
seen one go
was
by.
it David Luiz that got sent off for 2 back-to-back yellow card challenges?
Yeah.
And I know it's the rules of the game, but I have genuinely never seen that happen in 30 years of life, in 26 years of the Premier League.
Yeah.
It's only happened
That's
to
a
us.
sitter.
2 yellow cards.
He's got
there.
to
Does the
score
keeper
there.
save that?
I don't think he does. I think it's just wide.
Yeah, keeper saved it.
Does he?
Yeah, keeper's got fingers to it.
Is it a goal kick or a corner? Oh, it's a corner.
Great save. Fabio Silva. Oh, there's another foul.
Doku's already on a yellow.
The referee, we've got to have a word.
What's he going to do?
He's not going to give him a card. He would have given him a card already. And it's a yellow card for the assistant coach, for Arsenal's assistant coach. Of course it is.
Standard.
Yeah, classic.
Let's have a look at this. Doku on Silva.
Oh, that's a yellow.
That should be a yellow. It's a yellow, and he is on a yellow.
card.
I don't know how he's got away
How's
with
that not a yellow?
Watch him score the equaliser now as
Yeah,
well.
100%.
Watch him do that. Right, it's getting to that squeaky bum time now in the Premier League. We are seconds away, really, from getting full-time results up and down the country. We're in the 94th minute at Old Trafford. Will Crystal Palace hang on and get the 3 points that they desperately need? It is full-time at Old Trafford!
Oh my goodness! Ten Hag in the mud! Wow.
Ten Hag is certainly in the mud.
Wow.
3rd defeat of the season already. The 2nd one in a row.
Let me
at
feast.
home for Manchester United.
Let me feast.
And Crystal Palace through the early screamer from Anderson wins them the game. Roy Hodgson saying to Eric Ten Hag, fancy a little glass upstairs after. He's saying, no, I have to run to my car and get out of here before they get But yes, Anderson celebrates in front of the travelling South Londoners who have made 2 trips to the same place in a week. You're seeing kids there give the old W sign to the United fans. That's
they should have stayed.
This man must hold
There's been
criticism.
another goal at the Vitality Stadium, and it has gone to Arsenal again. It's 4-0. Ben White with the goal on the 93rd minute.
Good.
And it's a brilliant result that for Arsenal.
Good. It's
Fantastic
what I've been crying for. Good.
4-0 away, and it's a foul on Vieira, which leads to the goal. But is there any more full times to bring you? Not from what I can see. Only Old Trafford so far. West Ham 2-0 up, cruising. Newcastle United, that is cruising 2-0 up. Wolverhampton Wanderers were in the 95th minute of that game. The ball goes well over the top, but it's a corner for City. And apparently there's a VAR check on Ben White's goal. We'll give you eyes on that as soon as we can. But the ball comes in from Odegaard, and it's a header from Ben White, a really good one. But they will look at that.
It's Arsenal, so they'll check everything.
For VAR. Just to remind you, Manchester United in the Premier League so far this season, 7 games, 4 defeats, 3 wins, 11 goals conceded, 7 goals scored. And are we going to get a full time at the Molineux? It's the 96th minute.
Come on, Wolves.
Now it's squeaky bum.
Come on, Wolves. Come on, Wolves.
It's very, very squeaky.
Show your teeth.
Has that 4th goal stood for Arsenal?
It looks like it has.
It looks like it.
I don't see the issue with it.
Yeah, I think that's a goal.
He's not offside. Like, what's the issue?
It's a great header as well. Ben White, not the best
it's a good
header of the ball, but it's better than you expect from him. Really tidy header from Ben White.
I wonder what they're checking. Still waiting for these final full times to come in. It's time to get the prediction boards out and tell you what we predicted at the start of the game as Newcastle now finishes 2-0. So, I'll go first. Wolverhampton Wanderers, Man City. I said 3-1 to City. And it looks like they're going to lose, barring any super late drama now. I said Arsenal 3, Bournemouth 0. It was actually 4-0 in the end. I said Everton 2, Luton 0. Looks like Luton are going to win that one. I said Man United 2, Crystal Palace 1. I've got that one wrong. Happily, I'll take that one wrong. Newcastle 4, Burnley 0. Got the score right. Sorry, the result right, not the score. And West Ham 3-1 against Sheffield United. I also got that one wrong. Any better?
I had Wolves 1, Man City 2. Happy I got that wrong.
Yep.
I had Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 2. Happy I got that one wrong. Everton 2, Luton 0. Got that one completely wrong. Man United 2, Palace 0. Got that one completely wrong. Newcastle 3-0.
It's full time. It's full time.
Wow.
At Molineux. And Wolves, the mighty Wolverhampton Wanderers, have beaten Manchester City
Neto, take
2-1, and it does give Liverpool a chance to go to the top of the table if they can beat Tottenham today. But a massive result for Wolverhampton Wanderers. They've beaten Man City 2-1. Huge result. Massive goal though from Julian Alvarez, and it's now full time as well, I believe, at the Vitality. Arsenal 4-0 winners. Let's go.
I went Wolves 0, Man City 3. Very wrong. I went West Ham 2, Sheffield United 1. Not too bad. It was 2-0. I went 3-0 Arsenal over Bournemouth. It's 4-0. I went 2-1 to Newcastle. It's 2-0. I went 2-0 Manchester United, and I'm happy I was wrong about that. I went 1-0 Everton Luton. Very wrong. And I predicted
one's still going, that game.
Predicted 2-2 for later.
2-2. I predicted
Premier League. The Premier League.
You've predicted Liverpool to win 2-1 against Spurs later on.
Yeah.
But I can confirm for you now, Manchester City have lost away at Wolverhampton Wanderers. The winner from that Korean guy.
Come on!
Yeah? Have some respect, Pep Guardiola. He's not that Korean guy. He's Hwang Hee-chan, and he's just scored the winner against the quadruple almost winners, Manchester City. So hold that, Pep. Hold that one, my friend. West Ham United 2, Sheffield United 0. Newcastle United 2, Burnley 0. Manchester United have lost at home to Crystal Palace. It's now full time at the Vitality. Bournemouth 0, Arsenal 4.
Let's go.
And Everton have
Lego.
now lost 2-1 at home to
Get
Luton
them down.
Town. Massive shout out to Luton Town for getting their first win of the season. What a show it has been today on DR Sports.
The Premier League.
Say so myself.
The Premier League.
Premier League has done
The
it
Premier
again,
League.
people. It's thrown up the surprises, and there might be even more later on as Tottenham play Liverpool. We'll have that for you in half an hour. But to wrap it up, I've been AGT. It's been a pleasure giving you guys some really entertaining content today.
just
To
check.
my left, man like Tosin. Fantastic input from you today. Round of applause.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honoured to be among such great hosts like AGT.
I'll give you that $5 after. Massive shout out to Nick Francis as well. Honestly,
great job.
Fantastic from the boys
Great job.
today. I couldn't have done it without them.
Fantastic shirt as well.
It has been one of the best Saturday football shows of the season. It's an absolute honour to present this show. I do believe
been a
it is
barn
one of the
burner.
best. I can't lie to you. We've had so many goals. Just before we go, I said there would be 24 goals. Should we count up the goals? You said
go on
24
then.
as well,
I
right?
said 24 as
How
well.
many were there in the end? Let's
see.
add it up quickly and see who's the...
Including
What did
the
you
Villa
say?
game.
I said 18, so there's 1,
No,
3.
it's excluding Villa, isn't it?
Yeah, excluding Villa. Excluding Villa.
Okay.
So 4 plus 7 is 10. 7.
10.
How many? I don't think I got it, to be fair.
Wait, 3
How
in
many?
Everton. 5.
22.
No, it's not 22. So
Someone's
3 in
given us
Everton,
information. 3.
2 in West Ham, that's 5. 4 against Arsenal, 4 in Arsenal, that's 9. Plus 3 in Man City, that's 12. 2 against.
It's 22. It's 22.
22?
Is that
It's
actually?
22, apparently, yeah. No, it's...
It's
I thought
it's like
15 or something.
Oh,
It's 15.
You guys are giving
It's
me all
tw- it's-
wrong numbers
it's
in the
22
chat. I don't
with
believe-
the Aston Villa
They're
guy.
including
Right,
Aston
right,
Villa.
right. I see what's happened.
Excluding Villa, it's
I see what's happened here. Well, there you go. Guys,
15.
I predicted 22 with the Villa game. So
15.
I put the
All
Villa
right,
score.
well, you win then, my
There you
friend.
go. There you go.
Right. We'll be back next week. What a show this is on DR Sports.
Come on.
Love it. That's been the Saturday Football Show. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll be back in half an hour.